Are we on? Can we think about a different social order? Yeah, I think we can think about a very different social order. The crucial part is getting rid of tyranny. It's a tyrannical system in which power is more and more going into the hands of totalitarian structures which are unaccountable, namely private corporations. As has long been understood, these are tyrannical structures. They are like totalitarian states. They combine in the command center judicial, legislative, and executive powers. They're pretty much unaccountable to anyone. They're huge in scale by now. They were created for distorting markets, and they carry out extreme market distortion. Like they internalize risk. They free participants from market discipline, and they have a million other ways of undermining markets, whether one thinks markets are good or bad. In any event, these are tyrannical systems which have no right to exist any more than other tyrannical systems, and they have an extraordinary effect over life. I mean, they are the media. When we talk about the media reflecting their interests, that's, like saying, I reflect my interests. Yes, of course they do. It's not just the media, it's the entertainment industry and advertising and so on. This is all a reflection of a network of private tyrannies. They have an overwhelming effect on government.
Oh my gosh. Are we in here? Are we on? Are we on? Are we on? On. What's going on? All right, I see Disco Ghost. I see Razi, Frog. How do I pronounce your tag name? Dichloroitrium? That's as close as we're getting, I think. All right. Are we about ready to dive in? I tried tweeting out the link, and I don't think it worked. How's it sound? How's it look? Is everybody happy? Everybody happy with what we're about to get? Make sure all this is good. We got that. Yo, what's going on? Timo? Yeah? Just give it another second for the stragglers to get in, but then we'll just get right into it. Just gotta make sure I have all my shit in a row too. Timmy Ski, what's going on, Timmy Ski? This is exciting. I haven't streamed in 3 years. Isn't that fucked? That's a long ass time. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so why are we doing why are we here? Why are we doing this stream? And as with all good stories, it all starts with a Little Mitts tweet. I could be kind of quiet, but I tested this stuff earlier, so it should be. So anyways, it all started with this tweet because there was a thing going around where it was like, rank your region's all-time top X players. And he tweeted this, and you know that there's nothing worse than when you're tweeting something and immediately you got NS Frog immediately in your replies, about to give you some smoke. He was not having any of this, and with some justification. But you know what? I personally, Lil Mitts, I absolve you. I don't blame you for any of this. See, I'm kind of quiet. that's not good. I think it's max. How about now? How about now? How about now? Is this good? We're good now? Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, so let's go with that. The test could catch it all. It should have. It should have catched it. All right, so like I was saying, I absolve Little Mitts. Our education system is not good. It does not. It would not have given him everything that he needs to make an informed tweet. Also, it's Twitter, so how could he have possibly have done that? But then I realized that we actually don't really have a lot of our history in like a easy to start or easy to read and consume area. It's a lot of stuff has been lost. Like a lot of brackets don't exist anymore. A lot of the players that were around in the olden days are long gone. And so I decided that it was good to do a stream kind of walking through brackets, walking through things that like players that were there, different reigns, rivalries. We have stage lists. We have like different results. So we actually don't have any PRs because Melee was so small and so sporadic that I actually think our first PRs weren't till like 2014 or 2015. So what I did was I kind of went through different brackets retrospectively and made like an end of year PR based on how people did throughout the year, kind of like a Melee it on me or like a Lumi rank, whatever fucking thing people are using these days. And so we'll just kind of go through that as we go through the story. So, but until then, might as well just kick this thing off. So, as always, back in the olden days, things started with a Smashboards thread. So this was started in late 2005. This is sort of when we started to try and piece together a Melee scene. It was started by a guy whose tag was 2112. He still, you actually might run into him sometimes. If you're ever playing alt, he's a Mega Man player, and every once in a while he'll kind of come back in. But he started this to try and get people engaged and to try and gather a community. So I would not go through this thread on your own time unless you're wearing a hazmat suit. It's pretty, I mean, anything from the mid to late 2000s is just going to be toxic as hell. So I would avoid going through this. At least without a licensed professional such as myself. But I did it for you. So when I die in 5 years from the toxicity that is permeating my bones, you guys can thank me for my service. So this thread, through this, there's a few old names that kind of popped up that pretty quickly through. There weren't a lot of tournaments hosted for the first couple of years. There were like maybe small house brackets, but it was mostly Smash Fest. But still, some names kind of like established themselves as the best players. So some off the top of my head that I knew of was there was a Dr. Mario player named Vic who was really, really good. There was a Fox, Marth, and I think even Captain Falcon player who went by Pay, but I knew him by his first name, Zach, who was there. And then, of course, there was a very, very young, you must have been like 15 or 16-year-old, Lamnator, or Psycho Lemming, as he's known on Smashboards, who we all know and love as the out-of-the-way Yarmouth-dwelling Min player of today. So I think it's pretty indisputable that Nick is the oldest, longest-standing member of the Smash community at this point. And you can find him in this thread. And definitely was pretty good right out the bat. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can pump yourself up, Nick, if you're here. So there weren't really any tournaments for the first little bit until a crew of tournament organizers in 2007. The names some of the Brawl players might know, but their names were Justin Wiles, Malcolm Bailey, Paul Moore. It was a group of players, and they were able to get they organized the first big Melee tournament I think it was in July or August of 2007. And they were able to do it in a venue. It was called Intensity. So it was like Intensity, but it was with a C. It was very clever. I got fifth at the first tournament, losing first and second. That checks out. So they were able to host the first bracket, which was, I think it had a decent amount of people. I have the results somewhere up here. I think it's right. We're done. We're done with Little Mitts. So this is the results from the first ever tournament. It was called Hella Smashed, which for the young folk, Hella Smashed was an annual Smash tournament series. It was kind of like the KOH before KOH. It wasn't as big or prestigious, but it was like our main event every single year, from Melee pretty much all the way through Brawl. If we were ever gonna get people from out of province to come in, so if we got like New Brunswick, PEI, Newfoundland players to ever come, it was gonna be to an event like this. And so it started in 2007. It was the first major event. And so we have here, the results. So Vic, the Dr. Mario player, took first place. So Slab Crab, you have quite a name to live up to. You have to win a regional now. No pressure. Zach Pay ended up getting second. So yeah, Nick lost to both of these players. Joe, I actually don't know who Joe is. But good for them. Animus 45 it's unfortunate because Animus used to have a YouTube channel that had all of the old VODs that we used to have, and when I tried to find some of them, they long since been deleted. So we're just totally lost there. Lamb there. Psycho Lemming is the Smashboards handle. Got fifth. Other things to note. Ryan was a Captain Falcon main. I know that much. Niz is actually somebody that New Brunswick players will know. That is, I learned, was Ecto of the Peach of New Brunswick fame. Ended up getting ninth, going 2-2. And then Mav was his friend who was also from New Brunswick. Looking here so there's Justin Wiles, like I mentioned, 21-12, going 1-2. That's a rough showing. And Max used Pikachu in Brawl. I don't know who Max used in Melee, but they were a really good player. And then Mal was one of the TOs as well who mained Luigi. So yeah, this is just sort of the beginning. First ever Melee tournament was won by a Dr. Mario player. So clearly the fact that there's so many docs on our scene now, there is precedent to that. I was going to say, so Mav was, like I mentioned, a New Brunswick player, also was pretty technical, especially for early Nova Scotia Melee. I would actually say there was a dip. There was like people who were technical, and then there was my era, and then when Rick and them came back, we were all good. But as we talk about that, Nick, it's funny that you mentioned that. So I'm pretty sure that this... Let me see if I can get this open real quick. Did everyone enter with their game tags? It looks like from the Hella Smash one, it looks like everybody entered with only what they could put in the Melee thing. Yeah. So like it wasn't even, it was like, oh, like can you put like Colin North or Zhao Guang? I would have just put Zhao. Okay, so here is a VOD that was uploaded years later, which I'm pretty sure is the oldest Nova Scotia Melee match. Of all time. So this is the Mav person against Nick Best in I think this is like, yeah, this is like 20p. I think they're shining. Is I think what's going on. Some good rolls, some nice spot dodges. Who needs overlays? Just use your name as your yeah. Yeah. Can see the skill in every pixel. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, Mav. It's really funny because I remember in the Smashboards thread, Mav, in the results thread actually, Mav was saying how annoyed he was that there was no footage of him. He was like, none of the New Brunswick players got footage. That's like, we're being discriminated against. And then as it stands, this might be the only footage from Hella Smashed 07 that actually still exists. That was a great recovery by Nick there. He got a drill spiked. All right. So for basic human sanity, we won't watch all of this. We'll go to the very end. We'll watch. Nick, you have to clutch this out, right? Oh, look at that bear, though. Look at that. Ledge hop double laser. Better than my current. I mean, yeah, no, it's better than mine, too. Don't worry. Oh, my God. These pillars. Oh. I do remember Nick telling me that he was gonna pick up Melee again. Good shit, Nick. He was gonna pick up Melee again to show Mango and all the other Falcos how to shield pressure with Shine, and I don't know. He was looking pretty slick there. He might have something. You might have been onto something there. I thought you were arrogant as shit, but you actually might be right. I remember improving significantly the year after that. Yeah. So all right. So the first ever champion of Nova Scotia Melee was Vic, the Dr. Mario player, and he was really, really good. And then Pei/Zach was also really solid, and really solid with a bunch of characters. So that tournament ends, and then one tournament gets canceled a few months later. But then I think it's January 2008, there's another tournament, and this is the last one before Brawl came out. So this is sort of like what Pound 3 was to the greater scene. This tournament, which has no name, was the last one for us. What happened to Vic? I actually have Vic on Facebook. I think he became a lawyer, and he actually makes an appearance down the road in a tournament. So 2008, there's a tournament. Last big one before Brawl was released. The usual suspects are all there. He continued law school for this. Yeah, so he's like the opposite of Cody Schwab, where it was instead Cody was like, I'm gonna quit law school and play Melee. Vic was like, there's no hope here. There's no money. I'll be dead within a week if I try to do that. And so he's the one that parents point to when they try to get kids to stop playing video games. Tell them the Vic story. So January 2008, this tournament, again, so the usual suspects are there. Vic is there. I'm pretty sure Pei is there as well. But there's a new person that shows up. Despite Nick leveling up, he did not level up enough to beat this person. So people who don't know who the Nix is, so Nick Crocker, who went by the Nix, was a Newfoundland player who was really, really good at Melee. He looked pretty good at Brawl. He had some combo videos with, I think it was a crew called Team Redundancy Team, and you can actually, if you Google that, you'll find some, or YouTube it, you'll find some really hilarious combo videos for Brawl. And then for about 2.5 years to 3 years in Smash 4, he held the #1 spot. Like, he dominated pretty handily across multiple games. So anyways, I forget why he's in the area, why he was in Halifax. It was like work or school or something like that. But the Nyx is there, and he fucking stomps everybody in the last Melee tournament before Brawl is released. And Nick, we just showed you winning, which means we have to balance that out with a video of you getting your shit kicked in. Oh, let's go ads. No, thank you. I don't want to pay for this. So it was a rough start because Nick didn't even switch to Sheik holding the button. Had to run off stage. But the Nyx knows that he doesn't even need that extra damage. Oh, reads the roll with the side B. Ooh, look at that DI though. Look at that DI. That's 2008 DI. Nick was like, I don't give a fuck if I get kneed here. That ain't Skurzo, yeah. And Nick thinking that the side B tethers is what I'm choosing to believe, not that he fucked up the up B. I will say, I mean, this is unfortunate because I think Nick is... Jesus Christ. I think Nick is really good, but anybody who knows Lamb knows that he has a propensity to SD. And so SDing against a guy that you really need to hold on to every one of your stocks with is a winning strategy does not make. Oh, takes the stock though? The Nick Best Award, absolutely. An award that we had to stop handing out because he won every single time. So yeah, things looking grim. I think so. The Nyx could use, I think, just about anybody, but I think Falcon was his main. And so Nick knew right away. Oh, not going Falco. I do know that the Nyx had a really good puff. Lamb really contemplating how the fuck he's gonna bring this one back. Who did you pick? You're not picking Marth. You're not picking Marth. You're picking Marth. Okay, thank God. Ew! No. All right, we'll go to game 3. Okay, we know you lost that. I'm not sitting through a fucking puff ditto when I'm drinking non-alcoholic beers. Ew! No way. This is our history. Yeah, as the local historian, I am erasing certain things from the record. This is better. I can watch you get down smashed a few times for the fans. I actually think this one, I remember, Nick, you throw away. You throw this one away. Because look at that first stock, though. Look at that first stock. Curated history, that's it. Listen, history is written by the tryhards, and I'm the only one willing to go through this footage, so you're damn right I'm gonna fucking curate this history. Yeah, Nick just like never took another stock. I 4-stocked him every match after that. I don't know why we put him on the all-time list. This is pretty good. You're doing pretty good, I think. You're looking pretty solid. Pretty solid. Oh, not with that kind of jump. Nick! 4 stocks pay. That's actually impressive. My first, we'll get to it, but my first Melee tournament, pay fucking destroyed me. Because I had never played I wasn't good at Marth Dittos in general, and the fact that I was playing against a guy that knew what he was doing, oh my gosh, it was terrible. Look at this, man. You're keeping it steady. Okay, okay. Oh, that's not good. It's actually, it seems like it's better that you missed the tech there. Oh, oh, oh. Down air his ass. Forward smash. Good DI though on that forward smash. I didn't know they knew how to DI. I thought we had to go to Japan to learn that. Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. I'm so glad that you lose this match, you little taunting shithead. Yeah, Smay was just a Brawl player. Her first tournament was my first tournament in November 2008. I don't think she went to Frag. I love how the Nyx is just trying to down smash you. He's like, just get him off stage and then I'll do the thing. All right. Oh, good game. I'm sorry? None of that made sense? Oh, what are you doing? Nice. And in Nick Best fashion, side B's in the worst spot. Okay, she did go to Frag. Cool. All right. So yeah, the Nyx dominates that. The only thing I want, so I told Frog this and Vault, but I found a folder with a bunch of old VODs, and one of them was from this same tournament, Nick, where I think you beat Vic, because I think this one's from the same 2008 tournament. So we're not going to watch the whole VOD, but I just want to show how you win this set, because it's one of the grossest things, like, how this happened. Once again, the quality is leaves something to be desired. So you got here last stock. That was a nice little tech to shine. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to this tree now. I don't want to deal with this. So, like, I feel like he does pretty well. You're hitting that pressure. You know how it goes. He's just trying to pill you. This. He fucking regular get-ups into a fully charged down smash. Oh my god, when I saw that, I was furious. I was like, really? You're just gonna let him have that? You're gonna let him have that? Okay. Yeah, I feel like Nick must have been like around 17 or so. 16 or 17. Because yeah, you're like a year older than I am, and I think I would have just turned 16 that November in 08. And I think you're only like a year above me. Mentally, you're like 1,000 years old, but age-wise, yes. Okay, so so Crocker wins that tournament over Nick. So now we should start. We've gone through 07 and basically 08, because January 08 is the last Melee tournament until mid to late 2009, and we'll kind of get into that in a second. But first, I want to take a peep. Let me peep. So here we go. Let's do this. So this is the first, retrospectively, this is what I put as the first PR. It's mainly just built on the top 5 of that 07 bracket. You could maybe make a case that Lamb should be above Animus, but if we're just going hard data, if we're going ELO rankings, then unfortunately I think my boy gets cooked. And so yeah, so there we go. We got Vic number 1, Dr. Mario on our first retrospective ranking. Good for them. Love the doc mains. Pei, who again used Fox and Marth, and I feel like could just use all the top tiers. Who's on the panel for this? It was only the tryhard in me, the historian. I'm doing it to set it up so that when I start appearing on the rankings, I'm fucking goated and I fly all the way through. Okay, so then we go through. So before we dive into the post 2009 to the dark era, I want you guys to take a look at this stage list. This was for the 2008 tournament with the Knicks and everything. Why he liked us and wanted to be part of this scene or even associate with us after this or even show up to the tournament is beyond me. So you'll notice at the bottom, this is the list of stages that are banned, which means, yeah, you definitely can't play on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stages. There is many more stages in the second round and onwards stages, which is a great way of describing counter picks. And this is one of those lists that the longer you look at it, the worse it gets. So we got Big Blue, like Poke Float's legal. I mean, listen, we all love Poke Floats. We've seen it at the top level. Green Greens there was a time, I do remember, when Japes and Crews and all that were legal. Venom is a very funny one to have around, as is Mushroom Kingdom 2, and Mushroom Kingdom, for that matter. Both of those. Yoshi's Island, which, if I recall correctly, is the one with the blast zones that are touching your asshole and the green pipe and then the bridge that just sends you down immediately, as well as the walk-off to the right of the stage. That's okay. We're good with that. Yoshi's Island from the N64 is just a little too big. It's actually just like too big, so we can't do that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So this is 2008. Nick, you mentioned that you don't remember that. So I think, because we'll look at some stage lists even when I was playing for a few years, I think we just had we just hadn't checked the rules in God knows how long, because pretty much everyone just gentlemaned to the 5 or 6 stages that you use now. It would be like, I think FD was a starter and Pokemon Stadium was a counter pick. That was the only real difference. But we never went anywhere that wasn't a stage that is part of enlightened Melee now. But at the same time, we didn't think, oh shit, maybe we should adjust our stage list and see if we can fix this. So, and I'll tell you this, I give so much credit to Parker, because the first time he ever beat me in tournament, and we'll get to it because there's a VOD of it, he knew the stage list. And so we play a set, and I think it's like, we start on like Dreamland or Yoshi's or something, and then we play on Fountain or whatever. And then in one of the games, he counterpicks me to Corneria, because he's like, oh my god, I'm a Fox player. Why wouldn't I just do that? And he counterpicks me and gets a wicked win. And because he understood how to get the W. He knew that. He played by the rules, as preposterous as the rules were written. So that is a stage list. All right, so going on, we have, I don't know how to rank 2008, aside from the fact that Nick was the best player in Nova Scotia and just got trounced by the Knicks. So for 2008, Nick, you're all alone. It's a bunch of randos, and then it's just Lamb. It's just Lamb standing tall for 2008 from the one tournament in January, and then Melee was never played again. It's just you. It's just you. You're so great that everybody else quit. That's how good you are. All right. So, after 2008, Brawl comes out. So, you probably, the TOs at the time were just the TOs. There weren't separate scenes. So, when Brawl came out, Justin Wiles and Malcolm and Paul and all them, when Brawl came out, they were like, we just want to play Brawl. And they weren't like, I think they liked Melee, but they were okay just moving on to the next game. And so for basically for that entire year, for the rest of 2008, there were no Melee tournaments. And there probably wouldn't have been. This is my greatest claim to fame, is that when I joined the scene in November 2008, I was a Brawl player. I played Brawl, went to Brawl tournaments for like four or 5 months, and I just fucking pestered the TOs. where I was like, hey, Melee's a really cool game. It's a lot different from this one. It would be cool if we hosted a Melee bracket again, especially because we haven't done it in so long. And for a while, they were kind of like, like, let's get the setups and who would actually, like, give a shit or whatever. But myself and then Parker continued to nag the fuck out of them. So much so that at Hella Smashed 3, so the third annual Hella Smashed, they said, all right, we'll host a Melee bracket. It'll be like a side event. It'll be like Brawl singles, Brawl doubles, and we'll do Melee singles. And this was kind of cool because I think, was it 08 or 09 was the revival of Melee event, like the actual big one. So that was happening, and then that same year, when we hosted the Melee event, we actually got a bunch of guys who had used to compete when Melee was a thing, because guys like Vic and Pei and all them didn't move on. Like Nick said, Vic moved on pretty immediately after that 2008 tournament. I don't think Pei and Spaceman Spiff, guys like that, they didn't like Brawl competitively. But when in August 2009, when Hella Smash 3 happened, all those guys kind of came out of the woodwork. 2112 came back, the guy who started the Smashboards thread. And so it was kind of like Nick was the one guy that was on both sides of that. He had played in the early era, and then there was like me and Parker. This was both of our first tournaments. Parker was a Falco main, which was very funny. Obviously now he would probably have an amazing Falco, but he started out as a Falco main before he went to Fox. And then, so yeah, we had like, I want to say we got at least 18 to 20 people. Falco, sorry. Not Falcon. He picked up Falcon shortly after. He used all the top tiers at some point. He might have need you, but he also got cooked in bracket a little bit because he played me. I remember knocking him in. So that bracket, the top three was Nick won the tournament. Pei/Zach got second, and I got third. And I remember Nick was really happy because I double eliminated Vic, the Dr. Mario player, who, despite the VOD that we just saw, Nick said that he always had struggle against. He always thought that he was hard to fight. And then Pei double eliminated me and Marth Dittos, and then Nick just double eliminated Pei, is how that went. And then I think Spaceman Spiff and somebody else got like fifth or something. And so yeah, that tournament was cool. Hella Smash 3, because it was like we got a bunch of old heads coming out, the new guys. Dr. Mario's a chain grab kill. Yeah, like I get it was tough. Also, he was just really good. So that's just like the worst of both worlds. So that tournament was great because from that point on, for the next few years, because we were starting to have like Brawl bi-weeklies, but we would always have like every 2 or 3 months, we'd have like a bigger event with like a higher entry fee with better prize pools. And so we decided that we were actually going to have Melee as a singles event at all of the like bigger tournaments. And it would always be like Brawl singles, Brawl doubles, and then a Melee event on the side. And so then it would be like myself and Parker and Lamb and whoever. There was a few other like Melee specific players. And so I always thought that was good because that kind of like kept the lights on for the scene, because there hadn't been a tournament in like a year and a half. And then like myself and Parker just kind of, we were really interested in learning Melee. So we're like, hey, can you just like keep hosting these, or like host this event? And then can we just do it like at least twice, maybe 3 times a year? And try to like, you know, we enjoy playing this, and there's enough people that even if we get like 12-person brackets, I think it's worth it. And so they did that. Which I thought was awesome. And so going forward, that would be sort of the standard. There would probably be no more than 3 events a year. And sometimes there would just be 1. But from then until like the GPP era, that was enough to keep at least a few of us engaged and kind of laid the foundation for what was to come, which I thought was really cool. What was the next? Is this just the 2009? PR? Yeah, so we only had the one tournament. Again, I just kind of took the top 3 at that time. So we had Nick at the top, for the 2009 end of year PR. Pei rightfully got second. He squashed everybody except Nick. We got Zhao. Who's that? Definitely can't be this guy. This guy's white. We have Vic, and we have Spaceman Spiff. I guess just to talk, Spaceman Spiff was one of the people that was interested in the interested in Melee, didn't really care about Brawl, but was interested in even just the occasional twice a year events that we hosted. He was a Falco and Peach player. He was really, really nice. And he was really good at the game too. And he would take up that spot right below myself, Nick, and Parker for the next couple of years until he kind of quit himself. Take a sip break, non-alcoholic Corona. I highly recommend if you want vitamin D and to drink beer but not have any of the fun effects. Where is Spaceman now? I actually have no idea. A lot of these guys, when they kind of fade out, they just never. I only know about what happened to Vic because creepily after I double eliminated him, I added him on Facebook as if I was yeah, I never want you to forget me, fucker. And he never talked to me, but I've seen him on the timeline, and he's crushing it. He does a lot of really cool stuff. Can I ask where the Zhao Guang name comes from? Yeah, so Zhao Guang is I'm a really big fan of Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms. And Zhao Guang is a character in the Three Kingdoms games. And when I was making a GameFAQs username, I thought that I really liked that name for some reason. So I stuck with that and then kind of just used it for all gaming things. And then towards the end of Smash 4, I wanted to switch to my name. One, because it was easier if I was doing esports stuff and I need to connect with people. It's easier to be hey, I'm Colin North, text Colin North, rather than, hey, I'm Zhao Guang. I know I look nothing like you would think I would look like. Also cultural appropriation, so I'm trying to clean up my image. All right. So, 2009, done with. We have the one tournament, but now Melee is kind of it's on the back burner, but it's still it's happening again. It went through a long drought, like I said, about 18 months of no tournaments, and boom, baby, we're back. So after this, there is a tournament in January of 2010, which, let me see if I can find this quick, actually. Boom. If I do Doctor Strange Falcon, there we go. Yeah, I saw this earlier, which I thought was cool. So the Coast had highlighted this event. If you don't know about the Coast, it's a website. That's all I have to say. But they had a posting. So this was at the Roy Building, as you can see here. Super Smash Bros. Tourney, Doctor Strange Falcon, How I Learned to Stop Camping and Love the Punch. Saturday, January 30th, 1 p.m., 2010. So that's what time the tournament happened. Register for the tourney at 12 p.m. and get your Smash on for the day. I don't think I will do that, but thank you. So we always, for a while, the tournaments, I always loved what Wiles and Malcolm Bailey and Paul Moore would do, is all the TOs, they would take movie titles or maybe even album titles sometimes, and they would just smashify it, usually to include something Captain Falcon related. So the first tournament I ever won was called Return to Castle Falcon Punch, and I think there was a couple other ones. So anyways, Doctor Strange Falcon is the next tournament. It's the next Melee tournament, and this time the old heads like Vic and Pei aren't at that one. But there's me, there's Parker, there's Nick, there's Spaceman Spiff. There's a few people who just enter for the fuck of it. I don't think 2112 was there. I think he was just at Hello Smash 3. But this one is good because for the first time since 2008, we have VODs of this one. But they're not... I don't know. I kind of like the crusty VCR recordings that we had in 07 and 08. But we didn't have access to that. So... get rid of that. So Nick and I, for some reason, we both had the exact same camera, which was funny, but it was a hand camera, and Nick had a tripod. So for this event, Nick recorded it. Oh no, it's not a phone recording. It's a specialized camera that is worse than any phone recording that we would have today. Like an iPhone would blow this out of the water. Let me see. I'm trying to find what's a good. I won the camera from Frag. Okay, yeah, and my mom got it to me because I was going to. I think because I was interested in like film and stuff, and she was like, "This will be good if you like," because I was taking like a film class or something. Okay, we'll do this one. So it's me and Nick in grands. Look at this fucking quality. Oh my god. And so on Nick's YouTube page, as you can see, it says Laminator. He has a whole playlist here, and I think it's winners finals, losers finals, and grands are on this one. And so you can just kind of you get to hear background commentary. You get to hear because this was during the rest of like the Brawl tournament and shit. It does the trick. It does do the trick. It gets the job done. Forward smash. That audio is crisp, yeah. And so there's a few other VODs that we'll look at where it's recorded with the same type of camera, but it's my camera. And it's handheld. So we add the like Cloverfield shakiness effect, and it's great. It really adds to the aesthetic. Oh, you deserved that. You deserved that kill, Nick. Look at you letting forward smashes rip hither and yon. So I think Parker was at this event. I think he got fourth. I think Spaceman Smith was still just a little more experienced, and I think he beat him. I might have the results for this one. Look at me. I play the exact fucking same. How depressing is that? I'm just moving a little bit and then swinging a sword so desperately. God damn. What's even worse is that Dusty lost to this one time. Dusty, I am so sorry. At the same time, shame. Oh. We don't tech those. The melee time capsule. My playstyle is best described as archival. It's like a flying amber. Ew, I jumped into that? No, I didn't. Give me a coach's challenge. Fuck that shit. Mewtwo King was the best Smash player at the time. I agree with Camden. Oh, how did that tipper not hit, though? Come on, man. Sound like Joe Biden. Come on, man. You gotta hit your tippers. Look at me swinging. Oh, my gosh. It's so great that Gommel is gonna have no transformations. I'll have a leg up on the competition again. Ooh! Do you see that? Look at that. Nick, were you about to rage quit on me? What the fuck was that? Don't do that. Don't do that, my sweet salty boy. So yeah, Nick Best has all the footage for that tournament. If you ever want to torture yourself and watch early 2010 Melee, he bless you for holding on to that. All right, so yeah, Doctor Strange Falcon was ended. It was me in first place, Nick in second, and I had Spaceman Spiff in third. Is how that tournament ended. Sorry. And so I think if I just hit here, is that where that goes? Oh, we have the results page for this. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. So Parker did get fourth. We got me, Nick, Spaceman Spiff, Billy Be Good, Mal, the Luigi player. I don't know who Sven was his name. I don't know who he would have used. How the fuck did he get fifth though? That is astounding. 2112 getting seventh. So 2112 was at this event. I was mistaken. Kid A, Cam, Raziek with the ninth. Almost like could maybe wouldn't have gone 0-2, 1-2, which is actually impressive for having never played this game. I can't believe Raziek entered. That was I know Jordan used to enter every once in a while, but just like to like support the event and for the fun of it. But yeah, there we go. As early as 2010 was doing it. Good on you. So yeah, that's the top. So I think, do we have PR next on this one? I think. I don't know why I put question mark. I should have filled that in. But yeah, this was the PR. I should probably mention, I think there's a couple more tournaments that happened in 2010 that we can look at, and I'll explain. I definitely could have filled out this PR a little bit more. 2112 is a Mega Man player in Alt who you might have even played before in the Discord. He's definitely asked for games. So Doctor Strange Falcon happens in January. In May, there's a tournament called Side of Smash, which is a fundraiser tournament for the 4th annual Hella Smash tournament. And Melee was featured at that one as well. And so, let me see. I think I have, do I have Side of Smash? Kevin of 9, that's exactly it. He's Kevin of 9. That's it. Yeah, no, you got it right. So yeah, Side of Smash is an event, happens in May. And the big thing about this event is that it's the first time that Parker beats Nick in tournament. Which is a pretty big deal because, as you can see, like Parker was above anybody that wasn't the guys who had already been playing Melee for a little bit. But breaking through and beating Nick, because at that time, like Nick was first or second in every single event. So for that to be disrupted was surprising and pretty darn cool. So, and I think we even have, I don't actually have any VODs of him beating Nick. I don't think we actually recorded, but I do. This is gross. So this is what Parker used to do, because again, he knew the stage lists. So I have the VODs. There's me against Parker on Yoshi's Story, the one that people actually play, Randall and all that shit. There's me and Parker on Dreamland, and then this motherfucker, because he's down 2-0, decides to go all the way down the rule set and take me to this fucking place. And again, it's legal, so he can do it. He can do it. I'm not mad. It's just like he knows the rules. It's why he's such a good competitor, because his skill is unreal, and if he knows a way to twist it in his favor, he'll do it. Oh, I am not doing well. I got hit by a back air? A Jigglypuff back air? In this era? Oh, this is all I ever did against Jigglypuffs because we were all so shit back in the day. Is I was get them to like 50 or 60 and then go for down throw F smash and hope that it would tip her. And then if I didn't do that, then I just had to hope I'd killed them. But I had one game plan against Jigs. Oh, that up tilt though? That up tilt? That movement on this stage I've never played on? Ugh. Oh, it's just terrible. That should have killed. That's still the game plan? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is, I'll play like a good Jigs, and I'll hit that I was talking with Riley on Tuesday, where I was like, the best thing about Melee is like some things are like a little cyclical, if you want to call it that. And that like you can just like I'll hit Dusty with like a forward throw, forward smash tipper, and he'll DI it wrong and die at 20. And it's like, I don't care how good you are. Dusty's much better than I am, but doesn't matter how good you are. Sometimes you just get hit by the thing. Oh shit, am I gonna get rested? Oh, I got the game plan. I got the game plan there. That's what you get. Take me to Brinstar. Did he win this? Talking about Parker? Parker? How dare you? How dare you? We'll get to when Parker wins, okay? This is my moment. I try-harded. We're going to look at VODs of me winning for the next 6 hours. Of me just forward smashing in place. That's what's going to happen. Nah, but he's a good kid. So yeah. So that tournament, so I won. Parker got second. And Lamb got third at that one. And then I think 2112 got fourth, because I have some VODs of Nick in 2112. They're pretty cool, but they're also like somebody's blending something in the background, so I'm not going to subject you guys to that because it's actually atrocious to listen to. But I have the footage if anyone ever wants to bleed out of their ears. If you guys have an ear infection or something, I got you. So after that, the last tournament of 2010 is... This would be a Hella... Oh, no, there's two more events, sorry. So there's a Hella Smashed event. 2010, like I said, they're always going to have Melee. I couldn't find the results for this one. All I know is that I got first and Nick got second. I remember playing Nick in Grands because I'm pretty sure I went Luigi one game and actually won, which was funny. It was hilarious, and I was a really big fan of that. I don't even know who got third, though. Like, it was probably Parker. I don't think Parker was at the point that he would consistently beat Nick. So we'll just go top three is the usual suspects. It was Zhao, Lamb, and Billy Be Good. And then there was one more tournament. So after 2010, I take a pretty extended break. I don't enter a tournament for I think a year. And so this at this point we start to see why, because if you're looking at the timeline, there's like the Melee, and then the tournament, the TOs just transition to hosting Brawl, and then they agree to host Melee, but everything is part of the same body, right? There's a tournament that starts after this because the old TOs, so Wiles, Malcolm Bailey, Paul Moore, they stepped down at Hella Smash 4 in 2010, and a new set of TOs step up and are going to run events going forward. Those TOs were Raziek, Croy, K-Mag, who was an old Brawl player that a lot of people might know, and then Camden, whose tag was CRML. I think we might have called Caramel, but most people just called him Camden. And so Snowbot was this tournament hosted in November of 2010, and the TOs did not include Melee at this event as even a side event. They were like, you can like bring your own setups and bring your TVs, but it won't be part of like the actual lineup, because I think they were doing like an amateur bracket, and I think there was like a custom stage bracket as well or something like that. And so a lot of the like Melee, the people that showed up for Melee specific events, so like Spaceman Spiff, I think there might have been some guys that were starting to come in from out of the area. I forget if they were. I don't think they were Pictou County, but there was guys who were like a couple hours out who were interested in coming, and so Parker and Nick ended up hosting a bracket, but it was one of those things where like it had less priority than the Brawl stuff that was being hosted, and so an example would be if if say Parker and Nick were playing a set and Parker wins game 2, so it's 1-1. If Parker got called for a Brawl set, he would have to leave that setup, go play his Brawl set, and then come back and finish the Melee setup because it just wasn't allowed to like interfere with the rest of the tournament. So they ended up hosting like a relatively small bracket there. And the big thing about that bracket though, so it was the last one of the year, and Parker beats Nick again, and this is the first time that Parker actually wins a bracket, is winning the Snowbot one that was hosted there. And he 3-0s Nick in grands using Fox, Marth, and I think Jigs. Just kind of cycle through the top tiers and just wins like pretty solidly. And so like Parker definitely starts to come up at this point. And so for the going to this PR, 5th, we could definitely put somebody there. I don't know why I didn't. I blanked. I was just thinking of the consistent top 4, I think. But yeah, so it was me first, Billy Be Good, 2112. I don't think so. I think 2112 was still getting cooked. I would probably give it to like Mal, maybe Mal, because Mal got 5th, but he only went to one event, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see. He might have done 1 or 2. So yeah, we have me. I gave it to Parker because he got the 2 wins on Nick, and he did win the last event of the year. I'm on the panel for the 2010 PR. That's it. If you want to submit who gets 5th for the 2010 Melee PR, donate now. Donate to get Frog to Gommel, and the highest donation gets to pick who was 5th on the Melee PR. So yeah, I think Lamb had the consistency, but I gave it to Billy because I thought his wins were stronger, and I thought he ended the year on a stronger note. I do think you could probably switch them interchangeably because of Lamb's consistency, and I think he still had a winning record on Parker at this point, but there's up for debate. But the top 3 was pretty consistent there. So yeah. So when the TOs said that they weren't going to host Melee at the Snowbot, the like deal was that every Hella Smashed was still going to have a Melee event. And that it was true because the next event wasn't until the summer, until Hella Smashed 5, I think we're at now, which was in the summer of 2011. Yes, August 2011. And so what was cool about this event was we were hosting Melee. There was a crew of people that would go to every single Melee tournament that we hosted for the next few years. And the names, like they always brought like a couple carfuls of people. The names that stuck out the most was there was a Falco player named Jet who was really, really good. He took a set off me later on. I think he took maybe some sets off Nick. I don't think he beat Parker ever. But he would get like top 3, top 5 at tournaments. I think he made it to grands a couple times. There was a Mewtwo player named Hobo who was really cool. And there was a Ganon player who went by whose tag was B-Ron, who started out pretty rough, but then kind of leveled up pretty quickly. So going to Hella Smash 2011. So there was a Smash Fest in the middle of that year in 2011. And I went to hang out with people, and Parker and I were the only ones there that wanted to play Melee, but there was a Melee setup. And what's going on, Dusty? So there's at this Smash Fest, Parker and I are playing Melee, and he's fucking me up. I think he beats me with 4 or 5 different characters. I think he beats me with Fox, Falco, Jigs, Falcon, and did I say Marth already? He probably did Marth too. Like I think he was just destroying me that day. So fast forward, it's the one tournament of the year. It's Is this going to be uploaded to YouTube later? Yeah, I'm going to upload the whole VOD, so don't worry. If you have to dip, that's totally cool. So we get to, it's 2011, Hella Smash is the only Melee event for this year. We, how did this go? First things first, I know I have here, this is the stage list going into 2011. We've cleaned it up a lot at this point. I don't know who took the initiative to do that, but starters are pretty standard, and then Pokemon Stadium is counter pick. So that's like the only thing. But I think that was standard at the time. And then we have Brinstar, Congo, Peach's Castle, Corneria, Mute City, Pokefloats, still hilarious. But for 2011, the counter picks might be egregious, but if I could direct your attention to the 2008 stage list, I think you would realize that it is much, much better. Yo, what's going on, Kevin and I? We were just talking about you, the legend, talking about how you started the thread, got everyone together, and then we were talking about some of the results you got. You were cooking. Definitely a legend in the scene. Good to see you. And I was also hyping up your Mega Man because I know that sometimes you show up at the Discord and fuck people up, which is always funny to see. So this is the stage list going into Hella Smash 2011. And so the stage list is fine. I don't know why we did this, but I think we had like 12 or 14 entrants. And for some reason, I don't know why I agreed to this, because I was asked and I said yeah. But Parker and somebody else says, hey, instead of seeding the bracket, do we just want to randomize the bracket for Hella Smash 5? And for some reason, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid is why I said yes. So we just hit randomize, we put all the players in, and we just say make a fucking bracket. So they do that. Round 1 is me versus Parker. And the next round we played who had a bye. The player who had a bye was Nick. So it was Billy Be Good versus Zhao. The winner played Lamb. It might have been even before like top 8 or something. We just like consecutively played each other. I don't know why we did that. I thought it was hilarious, and I was nervous as fuck because Parker had destroyed me in friendlies the last time we had played, and I hadn't really practiced since then. So I was like, all right, well, great. I chose to randomize the bracket, and I'm immediately going to losers. How many bans do we get with this stage list that's up here? So I kind of mentioned this before, but all the like main Melee players was like we just kind of played with the 6 stages that everybody plays with now. So it was like we'd go to Pokemon Stadium, go to Dreamland, Fountain, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then, but for some reason we never updated the stage list, so we never really went as far. Like I don't even remember banning stages at this point. I feel like I was like, yeah, just go there. Who gives a fuck? The only person that ever actually used the counterpick section that was a top player was Parker, and he was smart about it. We just watched a VOD on Brinstar. It was as awful as you can imagine, and he also liked Corneria as well. So to answer your question, how many bans would we get here? I do not know. I never experienced having to do this. Most of us just wanted to play on these 6 stages. And then the times that I got counterpicked here, I was like, fuck it. I was going to lose this game anyways. Yeah, how it started. I was so anxious to play others. I remember the first tournament, some guy's apartment fell apart. We just played front. Yeah. I was going through that thread, and it was really funny how it was, because you posted, you were like, hey guys, it would be cool to have like a bracket and have like some stakes in these matches instead of just friendlies. And I think like if there was a house tournament, there was like a little baby one that Pay/Zach won. So it's pretty funny that and like there wasn't any venue, so it's like you go to some guy's apartment that you've never been to and just be like, well, I hope he's cool. I hope he doesn't camp me out with Puff for 8 minutes. Gotta be cool. All right, so yeah, we have a random bracket, Hell Smash 5. I play Parker first round. somehow, I think it's mainly just because he SD'd probably a couple times. I don't think I actually earned it. But I beat Parker 2-0, and then I beat Nick. And then the other side of the bracket is all the people that just entered for the fuck of it. It's like some of the people who entered Kings of Halley pool every year. By the way, sign up for Kings of Halley. Kings of Halley 7, registration's up now. But the people who sign up for Kings of Halley, who just want to they just want to play a bunch of different games, and they've obviously never played Melee before. So we had in winter semis on the other side of the bracket was Jet versus it was against my friend. His tag was Cletus. It was my best friend Paul. He mained Ganon. I say main. He just played Ganon and just like forward aired and jabbed, which is actually for 2011 wasn't that bad. But he was in winter semis all of a sudden because everybody he had to play had like never played Melee before. So he coasted his way into top 5. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, I had to play the 2 toughest bracket sets immediately. No hand warmers. So I think, do we have the results here? Yes, we do. We even have payouts. Look at that. I could make $72. Fuck, I should have stayed being good. Now look at me. I'm buying drinks for the venue. I'm leaving every tournament down $400. I need a financial advisor. So, because of the bracket fuckery, so I played Jet in winners finals. And then I beat him, and then Nick ends up beating Parker, and then running it all the way back to Grands, and we faced in Grands again. But as you can see, like it's a little fuggy. Like KO Pop was not a Melee player, slid into 5th right there. That was B-Ron, who I mentioned, who actually leveled up pretty hard in the following year at the next Hella Smash. Took a game off me, and I think took a game off Parker or somebody. Like did pretty well. We'll look at the bracket in a second. But yeah, this ended up being relatively a mess. And it's also the only data point. I don't think so. Like if you were looking off this, it would just be the PR for 2011 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think I did that, but let's look because I actually forget what I made. Okay, yeah, I put Billy Be Good above Jet. I don't know if that's right. I don't really have anything other than Parker fucking me up in those friendlies. Still lost to Nick at that tournament, but I just thought he was better than Jet. And KO Pop was Keith Lewald. And then I put Hobo there. I don't know why. I probably should have put KO Pop or Cletus, but the idea of putting my best friend who doesn't play Melee on a end of year PR just felt sinful. I could have put KO Pop though, I guess. Whatever. But what's important is the top 4. So Jet would be around for the next couple of years. Hosted a lot of tournaments, came to a lot of events, especially in the GPP era, the early one, and as well as hosted a few events in his own apartment. So definitely a lot of kudos. He played a pretty big role in like keeping the Melee scene going, and he ended up being a pretty consistent top player presence. All right, where the fuck am I in this timeline? Jesus. So the next event was a little bit of the beginning of when New Brunswick would start to come and interact again with the Melee scene. I think, there had been a peace treaty, a détente, if you will. Mav finally realized that we uploaded VODs of him so New Brunswick could communicate with Nova Scotia. So the next tournament for Melee, again, all we had at this point was the once a year. This is probably in terms of hype sets, this one is really good. In terms of turnout, not good. Hella Smash 6 in 2011 had 10 total entrants, which is, I think, maybe it might be the lowest or second lowest, but we had a $100 pot bonus for this event. And even people who were like, maybe I could bullshit my way to a top placing, even they didn't want to play. So it was a dark time. Super Boom Fan, also known as Falco Master, the legendary 64 player, came down because there was also a $700 pot bonus for Brawl. And he was better than all of us at every game. So he was like, I'll just win every event and make like $1,000 or something. So he comes down. He 100% wins the Melee event. This tournament, let's see if I can find the, I think I have the bracket here. Is that what this is? This looks promising. Yeah! Look at that! So this is an actual bracket. Look at that. You can, like, see the bracket and shit. You can, like, see who beat who and who did what. Look at me. This looks like I would be the top seed, which is fucking stupid, but that's probably not how it worked. But anyways. So you look here, we got, I played B-Ron again. I went to game 3 against him. It was a really good Ganon. Played Nick again. That was a really close set, as always. Actually, you know what? All right, we need to talk about this, because, like, I've played Nick a lot. Nick, I hate to say this, but I have to speak facts. Nick never beat me in a melee set. I don't even know if I should phrase it that way, though. I never didn't move forward in bracket when I played Nick, and I don't think it had anything to do with the actual gameplay. And what I'm going to show you is a VOD from Side of Smash, which I think sums up how all of our sets went, and you'll kind of understand. So the first thing you're going to notice, this VOD, this is a 4-stock match, is 47 seconds long. And this is essentially, at least one game a set would basically play out like this one does here. That's a good start for Nick. It's real good. Oh shit! Oh shit! What the fuck? 81 to... Oh my god, Nick! How could this happen? Very good. Very good. This is good. What happened? What happened here? Holy shit. Okay. So, if I were to gas myself up, I would say I am the most efficient smasher because I landed about 5 hits and took all 4 stocks. So, from that point of view, like, holy shit, Cody Schwab got nothing on me. I'm ruthlessly efficient. On the other hand, as you saw, he was comboing the ever-living fuck out of me and then just yeeted himself off stage. This is exactly why it's called the Nick Best Award. And it's one of those things where there's a world where Nick never SDs in any Smash game, and we're just talking about how Nick Best has dominated every Smash game for like 15 years straight. But that doesn't happen. Instead, he SDs like 100 times at 0%, and now we're looking at PRs where I'm on top. I'm not saying it's fair. I'm not saying it's right. It just is how it is. That's been the Falco for like 20 years. Yeah. All right, so going back to this bracket. So yeah, I'm sure that happened again. The VODs are actually online. We will look at me and Parker because I think that's a really good set. So you can see here, Jet beats. I don't know if this is Jesse, Attila / Adra. I don't know if this might have been their first event or second event. I didn't see in the HS5 results. Adra becomes a very strong melee player, just like an all-around good Smash player. And once we get to kind of the end of the kind of the time that we're covering, like the 2013-2014 era, Adra / Attila gets some pretty solid wins and placings. But running into Jet immediately in losers, who played Super Boom Fan, that's never fun. So loses there. Jet beats Lamb. Billy Be Good beats B-Ron. I think so. I think it was a 2-0 here. I think Billy Be Good and Jet was a 2-1. I do think Jet took a game. And then I played Billy Be Good in losers finals, which is essentially, it's like it's one of those things where it's like, this is like technically grands because we knew Super Boom was just gonna fucking clean house. The good thing, if any of you guys are a little, woo! Let me open that in another tab. That's a Brawl video. Interesting. If you guys are and you guys are Melee heads and want to watch actual, like, decently quality videos of early Melee in Nova Scotia, this tournament is definitely the best one to look at. It's Hella Smash 6. There's a playlist, and at the bottom of this playlist, there's, like, me against Super Boom, me against Nick Jet. We got B-Ron. We got all this stuff, and it's, like, pretty decent. So let's watch this one. Look how fucking scrawny and young we are. Oh my god. It's so funny how, like, I mean, I always look sickly, but, like, even back then, I also had the grossest Adam's apple of all time. Like, holy shit. Disconnect your Pro controllers, because that Adam's apple was interfering with everything. Oh my god. Are we just gonna keep me on the camera? Thank you. I'm pretty sure we paid this guy to stream too. So this is 17 minutes. I'm not gonna subject you guys to all this. So we'll just do a quick snap. I think I win this one. Oh, you should have read it. This was streamed, so Ralston Arcade, I think it might have been Justin. I don't think 2012, I don't think Twitch would have been, it might have been a thing. I think it was Justin TV though. That's what we were all using. Oh shit, he might take this game. Oh, no, I just forward smash. Get out of jail free card. And then I know he whoops my ass on FT, because I don't DI those up throws. I did spike him. It didn't do shit. And that's how King Pie High knocked me out on Tuesday. Fuck. I saved falling into up smashes. Game 3. So I want to point out. I love Scared Straight. It's my favorite show. Alright. So this is... Ooh. Oh. Old man? I was a young man there, but old man had it? Oh my god. Alright. So I want to point out, we played... It's pretty cool. We played on Pokemon Stadium to start. Interesting starter stage if you're a Marth player against a Fox. The Fox counterpicks me to FD. Very interesting. Different era. Not too sure. I counterpicked the Fox to Dreamland. Is this a simulation? Is this a joke? Is this whole stream an elaborate prank? No, it's just how we played. But then, like I was saying before, Parker is the only guy who actually knows what the stage list is. So he's like, what do you ban? And I'm probably like, I don't know, fucking Yoshi's Fountain of Dreams. I don't know, like the stages that we play on. And this motherfucker takes me to Corneria. Do you hear the commentator? Corneria. That's in this game? I missed the shield breaker. We spend the first little bit over here. And then we go down to the wing. We both understood we just want to beat the shit out of each other. You can see how much better Parker got, though. I know we didn't watch any VODs of his Fox. There's only the one against me, and it's not indicative of how quickly he got so good. Once he switched off Falco to Fox, it was a whole other ballgame. So he beats me here. Read my... Holy shit. He knew that. He's like, that's a Brawl player rolling right there. So then we go... Game 5. I still counterpicked a Battlefield. So this is actually consistent. This is me. I wasn't sure for a second, but this is footage of me. And this one, we go the distance. I think we go last stock. I read that. Do I edge guard? What a great edge guard. Oh my god. I was trying to the old walk away edge guard. Oh my god.
Come on, Colin.
He has to SD for me. He's like, if I go straight again, he's gonna run away.
Batman Rises chant. Here we go. Fox needs a good 20%.
Oh.
Oh. Up here.
Ooh.
Up smash.
He read my rolls a fuck ton this set. But he's also, you can tell how nervous he is because I counter and he doesn't do shit. He just keeps short hopping.
He's out. Oh no! I'm not counting him out. He's not done yet. I've seen some. That's a different
Ooh, and I double jumped. Oh no, I didn't. I double jumped there.
physics. Reverse physics. Oh my god.
Oh my god, he nares off stage. Oh my god. What if he SD'd there? Look at that crowd. Got the whole venue going for a 10-person bracket. Okay. Okay. So that was the first time that Parker beat me in bracket in any Smash game, because I had his number in Brawl while I still played, and then he beat me there. And I remember, like, you can see at the end, he like fucking ducks his head down. And I was happy for him because I know he put in the work, and he definitely cooked the shit out of me. And then again, like it was just a matter of time he did in tournament, because that time we played friendlies, he just destroyed. Yeah, Aaron had hair there. This is old VODs. This is 12 years ago, which is hilarious. But yeah, after he cooked me in friendlies that one time, I was like, I mean, like, tournament nerves, like, you have to, performing in tournament is a real thing. You can like dust people. There you go, Dusty. You can dust people all you want on online or in friendlies, but like sitting down in a venue and executing when you're in like an uncomfortable situation, that's like the next step. And he was able to do that really well. And so that is the last VOD. So like I said, Hella Smash 6, these VODs actually, you can see they looked pretty good. You can see a lot of, a few names you'd recognize with me, Parker, and Nick. Feel free to watch those VODs. Those are good. Somebody is screaming outside, and I don't care for that. All right, so this is the only bracket for 2012, and so for the PR, for the end of year PR, have to give it to Parker. He beat all of us except for Super Boom Fan, but he was New Brunswick. So Billy Be Good / Parker. So the copy pasta that like dominated early Brawl was the best melee player from 2014. We have to edit that. We have to put in brackets that Parker was actually the best player in 2012. So unfortunately, the copy pasta is going to have some, it might be a little bit of misinformation. We're just going to have to deal with it. So yeah, Billy Be Good, me, Jet, just because he beat Lamb in that loser set, bumps up to third. Lamb solidly at fourth. And then B-Ron, because B-Ron kind of like did really well against top players. And just kind of solidified himself with that. I think he ended up getting fifth, and he was easily the best player in that rung. Yeah, I know, it's funny. Little baby puff chilling in the lighthouse. So we're getting close to when GPP starts, which is really good. But so like I mentioned before, Hella Smashed was Kings of Halley, like the annual big event before Kings of Halley. But after Hella Smash 6 was the last like good one. There was a Hella Smash 7, but we lost the venue that it was going to be at. And so we ended up hosting it at Jet's house. So Jet, his name is Justin Riley for the record. So there's a Hella Smash, and this tournament is officially, because like I mentioned before, it was the Melee scene had a set of TOs. They hosted Melee tournaments, then they hosted all the Brawl tournaments, and then the Melee side events at each tournament. The new TOs kind of were like, all right, we'll host Melee like once a year, but they were like starting to like split apart. Hella Smash 7 was the first event where the TO said, we are not hosting Melee anymore. And so I have the thread here. A couple cool things about this thread. Make sure that is this pulled up? Is that a penis? No, I thought it was a penis, but it's just Calvin and Hobbes. Interesting. So you'll see here, PM doubles, PM singles, Brawl doubles, Brawl singles. So the Brawl scene got really into PM a little bit before this time, around this time. And so originally Melee was featured, but then in the interest of hosting more PM events alongside the Brawl events, they replaced Melee with PM. And I was never a huge fan of PM, so I did not care for that decision. Things to note, we have in this thread Tin Man, who's an old Ontario Brawl head. We have Big D showing interest, which is very cool. And then we have Amplifier, we have Jerflip, who are known, at the very least Jerflip is a known Melee player from New Brunswick, very, very good. And you can see that they're kind of professing interest in this tournament. We also got Black Twins showing up. Like there was a lot of hope at this time because they still had the venue, and Hella Smash was generally a pretty sick event. So they're like, all right, at some point. Gets rescheduled, and then at some point gets updated. It says we're dropping Melee for Project M. And then it's like all Brawl Saturday, Project M on Sunday. And then this leads to the people like Jerflip and the New Brunswick people, they're just not going to show up because there's no Melee. Their reasoning at the time, they have it down here. It was right here. So it was last year's Hella Smash had an astounding 10 people enter Melee. That's not a tournament. That's hardly even a Smash Fest. It's not worth the time or the effort, how little they might be to host Melee this year. I have a couple issues with this. I retrospectively take offense to this because I just won my first Smash Ultimate Singles tournament. It was an 8-man bracket. By this definition, I have not won a tournament, so fuck me, I guess. And then I also, that's hardly even a Smash Fest. I don't even think I have 10 friends in my life. How the fuck, like, how would that not even be a Smash Fest, is my question. Like, that's a huge amount of people. I don't know 10 people. As far as I'm concerned, most of the people who've commented on this stream could be bots. How would I know? Twitter bots, they're always saying nudes in bio and shit. I don't know. Anyhow, I disagree with this reasoning. In hindsight, I guess like if you have to kind of go where the people are. Yeah, I didn't even win a Smash Fest apparently. And so here, Amplifier just say, I'm just curious what you think turnout will be so much better. And he says our monthlies draw in 20 people, which is not that much. Maybe in the context of that time, it is that much. But the big thing here is that we were probably going to have more people because Jerflip and Amplifier and New Brunswick people showed interest. And also, the people that signed up for the 10, need I go back to the bracket? Let's see. We got Jet, B-Ron, Hobo at least, who are like certified guys who only come out for Melee. There's Attila, who I know is getting more interested. Kirby of the Stars, is that the tag that I thought I read? Entered every single event. Yeah, and then like me, Parker, and Nick. So like we had people that were still interested. We had people that were exclusively interested in Melee. But anyways, so we lose the venue that we've been hosting Hella Smash at for a while, and Jet ends up hosting Hella Smash 7 in his apartment. He also ends up hosting, though, a Melee bracket. I remember playing a very small Melee bracket where I played Parker in... so this would have been summer of 2013, because it was a year after he beat me at Hella Smash 6 2012. So I played Parker in winners finals. He smokes the shit out of me. And then I won 2 sets in grands to win the tournament, but they were much closer than how much he dominated me in winners finals. So I ended up winning this tiny ass event. For the record, they were talking about how the PM events bring in 20 people. I think Hella Smash brought in like 16 people or something. I don't even think it hit that amount. So I take much issue with the framing of why that. But really the point of pointing that out isn't to put people on blast, even if that's pretty hilarious. It's mainly to be like, here is like where the split finally happened, because like in a way it's kind of weird that there is like a Melee scene and like a Smash 4/alt scene that were like so different from one another, like that they were basically segregated. And there actually is like, it wasn't always like that. It was kind of like, it was a natural split. Like they wanted to go in different directions, but that's why there is a split. Because for a long while they were hosted at the same events, and there was like a decent amount of cross pollination between the scenes for sure. And so much so that it was like they were two different scenes, but there was it didn't feel like it because the organizational body was the same. But luckily, if they were going to break off with us and leave us for dead, there was really no better time to do it, because this was 2013, which had EVO 2013, one of the craziest Melee events, probably the craziest event up until that point. Shortly in the fall, there would be the Smash documentary that dropped. And at this time, we started making road trips, because like I said, Jerflip and Amplifier were interested in playing Melee with us. So we started making road trips to Moncton for like Brawl and Melee events that they were hosting. I don't think they were like too big on PM at that point, from what I remember. So it's actually like a lot of these events were pretty stacked. This is when I would meet a lot of people that are now considered old heads, but at the time it was Jerflip, it was TTC, who was an amazing Falco player from New Brunswick, Squidward, Evan Dennis. I mean, the man needs no introduction. He can introduce himself as far as I'm concerned, but he was an amazing player. At the time, he was still maining Captain Falcon. He wasn't, and he obviously liked using Ganon, but he could use anybody. There was Christian, the Ice Climbers player. Amplifier, who was one of the TOs, was a Captain Falcon player. So a lot of these guys are either retired or they're old heads. But at the time, this was like they were relatively new, and kind of riding the high of or the momentum of like EVO 2013 and the Smash documentary that was about to come out. So in September of 2013, we go up there, and at that event, I think I was seeded so that I made it all the way to winners finals, fight Super Boom, get the shit kicked out of me, as is the tradition at this point, and then I play Squidward for the first time, and it goes to game 5. I don't know how. He fucking demolished me. And then I think he 4-stocked me. Like he was playing with me. And he was doing that thing where he would talk to me mid-set, and I get so fucking triggered at it. Oh my god. And so on the bracket says it was 3-2 for him, but it was not close. I won't even pretend that I had an answer for him at that point. So he demolishes me, and that begins the rivalry, because discounting Super Boom for the next like year and a bit, he was the best player in New Brunswick, I was the best player in Nova Scotia, and we would face off at a lot of tournaments. He generally got the better of me. For every set I won, he probably won like 2 or so. But it was a hype rivalry, and it was always cool to see how we adapted to each other. So that event, yeah, so the top 3 of that Moncton event was Super Boom, Squidward, and then me. Because of EVO 2013 and the Smash documentary dropping in the fall, it's that huge wave that got Melee really popular after sort of the dark ages after the MLG era. We also got kind of swept up in that. So the big things that happened was, the first thing was Melee was featured at Frag for Cancer again alongside Brawl. We were actually like a main event, which was really cool. And so that event had a few of the New Brunswick people. I know Super Boom came down. Super Boom had to come down, because for the prizes at this point were fucking stupid. If you won Brawl, you got a Wii U, and if you won Melee had the exact same prizes as Brawl. So first place for both events was a Wii U, so you could get 2 Wii U's, which he would obviously win. And then second place for both events was a 3DS, like a Pokemon themed 3DS, which was unbelievable. And then like even I got 4th in Brawl at this event, and I got a free copy of whatever Pokemon had just dropped. It was like X and Y at the time, and I got a free copy of that. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like, the prizes were nuts. So at the Melee event here, I don't know why they seeded it this way again, but Super Boom played Squidward on his side of winter semis, knocks him down to losers, and then I play Super Boom in winners finals. I get smoked again. Wasn't even close. I think he 3-0'd me with Fox or something. So this tournament, I'm expecting Squidward's going to come through, and he's going to like play me again, whoop the shit out of me, and he's going to get a 3DS. The way that the format was, best of 5 was only for top 3. So in loser semis, it's Lamb versus Squidward. I come over and it's 1-1. It's Dreamland. Squidward is going Marth against on Dreamland against Nick's Falco. Don't know how it happened, but somehow Nick like down smashes him, secures the win. It's the angriest I've ever seen Evan, who I love to death, but you could tell he knew he shouldn't have lost that set because he was better than both of us at this point, like me and Nick. So he gets up and he's just like, fuck, and he's like rolling up his controller, storms off, and then we don't hear from him for the rest of the event because he just like steers clear of us. So he's just like, he's dropping fucks left, like hither and yon. He's just going nuts. I have to play Nick immediately afterwards. I sit down and Nick, in that like Nick best way of saying things, was just like, I wasn't even playing good. Like it was just like he thought he was playing like shit. I won't take that as straight if I played him. That's not what you said to me. That's not, well, technically I guess that would still, I guess you not playing well, you could still outplay people. In which case, wow, the disrespect. How good could you play? We're still waiting on you to show Mango how it's done. But whatever. I digress. Anyways, so we play losers finals. I beat Nick. So I get a 3DS because I get smoked by Super Boom. But I only get a 3DS because Nick dummied the shit out of Squidward. So thank you, Nick. I sold that 3DS for like dirt cheap. Like probably like $150 less than I should have. But whatever. Thank you. I love you. And thank you for SDing against me like you always do. You're the best. So that happens. So Frag 2013, where Melee's featured there. And then shortly after this, I think beginning in November, a deal is struck up between JR and the people who own Games People Play, which is a venue that had a really big role in the early Melee community and also in the Smash 4 community. There's a lot that can be said about things surrounding that partnership. I will let people more articulate and educated than me divulge that under advice of my attorney. I won't comment. The only thing I'll say is I'm pretty sure with winnings owed to me and adjusted for inflation, I think I'm owed like $10,000. But we'll let it go. Let it lie. What do they always say? Let it lie. Okay? I didn't wave dash back forward smash to have it all taken away from me. I could have paid for my fucking NSCC degree. Anyhow, what's important is that GPP started up weeklies. And I think it was weeklies, maybe bi-weeklies. I don't remember. I think it was weeklies though. And this was sort of the foundation because we had like JR played a lot of Melee and he was pretty good. Nick would attend when he could. I still competed quite a bit. And then it was sort of the this venue starting up right after the Smash documentary was sort of when a lot of people started to come into the scene that, like, if you were to ask Rick about old heads, he would mention people like Evan Shabsov, who went by Ignatius Rock. There's E-Hat, Eyeball, Kitty's Meow Meow, Yo Mom, Dank Lord. There's a lot of names that I think people would recognize if they went back and look at old stuff. And GPP starting up was sort of finally an outlet for a lot of players who were interested in Melee to be able to come in and like learn the game. So that was really good. And so for the next year, that is where a lot of talent came up. So for end of 2013, a lot of those guys started to pop in. There was also our very own the Ultimate Scene's Twin Jewel of the Empire was a very good Samus player who played Melee for a bit. Got some solid wins and placings. And additionally, also, there were Brawl players that really wanted to learn Melee, like, seriously. So Nizark is, I think that's how you pronounce it. He at this point, like, Brawl was kind of functionally dead for him. So he just wanted to learn a bunch of different games. He was really into speedrunning, and he learned how to play Melee. He originally started as a Puff player, and then when he took it a little more seriously, he learned how to play Marth as well. And he was pretty solid. So 2013 is when we start to lay the foundation of our local scene that would grow into the modern era, if you want to call it that. Again, in November 2013, we make another trip to Moncton. A lot of the sort of up and coming Melee players, as well as the guys that were long-term veterans. Parker is on hiatus at this point. He doesn't show to a lot of events. But like Nick and myself and all these other guys keep going. So in November 2013, I go up to a tournament in Moncton with those guys. Pretty early on, I lose to Jerflip. He knocks me into losers 2-1. We had like a few close tournament sets and friendlies together, so it was just a matter of time before Jerflip beat me. And then I end up going through losers. I play I don't know how Squidward got knocked into losers, but I had to play him for 5th, and I ended up beating him 2-1 there. Then I had to play Nick. I had the run back against Jerflip, and then again I had to play Super Boom Fan, and he just won because he was like, our Brawl players eventually caught up to Boom Fan. Melee, he just ran a train on us. I mean, he is Falco Master, so what are you gonna do? I think, is this where there were? No, this is the 2012 one. This is the results of that November tournament. So it's the second tournament, like I mentioned, because there was the one in September. This one, the winnings are looking poor. I got second, made $24. Adjust that for inflation. God, I could have been so wealthy. Jared gets $8. Nick coming in 4th place. And then these are all names that I think people will start to recognize. Like I said, you got Squidward when it was spelled properly. Touch the Clouds. Like I said, we got JR, Nizark, a lot of people. Amplifier, like I said, he was one of the TOs. He was a Falcon main. Looks like he got kind of cooked at this bracket, but it is what it is. So I made a PR here. I forgot when I made the end of 2013 PR, what Nick had done at Frag and at this last tournament. So I have Nick lower than I think he should be. This PR needs to be revised. So this is what I put for Melee. I had me, Billy Be Good, Jet, Nick, and JR. JR is mainly just there because he was pretty consistently getting, I think at this point he had done well at Frag and the other, and that Moncton tournament. He might have done well at the first one too. I don't know. But Nick definitely should be 3rd. Arguably should be 2nd. I think I gave Parker a lot of credit for the previous PR season, which you should never do. You shouldn't do legacy points for that kind of stuff. But also for taking a set off me at that Hella Smash 7. Don't think that that's accurate. I actually think that you can make a case that Nick should be 2nd. I think Parker's still better. I think Parker might have been a better player, but he wasn't going to anything. And I am somebody that values, like, you do have to reach enough events to make the point, or like to really make your case. So like him being 2nd, sure. I think that you could make a case though, because your results you had 2 more results that were more recent, and you also got to win on Evan before and after. Like, you got to win on Evan before I did, because I got cooked at that Moncton event. And then I didn't beat Evan until the next tournament in November. So I think you could make a case. I All right, Paul. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. I probably won't be too much longer. I just have to do 2014 like GPP stuff and Frag, and then FGX is what I'll end on. So yeah, I think you can make a very good case. It should be me, Lamb, Billy Be Good, Jet, and JR. But if you put Billy Be Good at second, I mean, he was fucking good. He probably would be first if he had attended more things. Like, he very easily could have. I know it took him a while, if ever, to beat Squidward, because I remember he went to a few GPP stuff I was at, and Squidward definitely cooked the shit out of him a few times, just like he did with me. But he definitely could have beat any of the Nova Scotia people, so he could have been best. But again, you got to go to stuff. So at the very least, this PR is wrong in that Lamb should be third. And if you want to put him second, I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. He's got good wins and results. So then we go to the final stretch of this I probably stretched this out more than it needs to be stretched. As you've seen, there hasn't been that many tournaments. I just like to hear myself talk. I like to gas myself up. And the amount of people who might have fallen asleep listening to this is victory enough for me. But 2014 is the last year that we're going into. The GPP events, they pop off. I attend a frequent amount of GPP events for the first, until about May, I want to say, maybe May, I guess the first half of the year. And I try to attend as many as I can. Squidward comes down to a couple of them. Usually the way it would work was I would take a set from him and he would double eliminate me, or ultimately he would win the tournament for the 2 or 3 events he went down to. So it was always I always came close, but I don't think the only time I outplaced him would have been Frag and that Moncton tournament. Otherwise, he usually won. But Grands was almost always me and him, or was always me and him. And then sometimes Nick would get a swing at him, sometimes Parker would get a swing, but otherwise, it just most of those tournaments that he was at, he would just win. Some standout stuff though, because a lot of these brackets are gone. It's tough to remember weeklies because they start to get clumped together in that time frame, especially when I start sporadically attending. But things that stood out, I went to a weekly at some point. I can't remember exactly when it was. But I sat down for my round 1, maybe my round 2, but it's a pretty decently sized weekly. And so at this point, Parker's there, Lamb's there, Jet's there, JR, Nizark, all those guys. So there's a lot of people that I know that are going to be good. So I sat down for my round 1. I'm all right, I'll just probably stomp this guy. It'll be over with. Game 1 is I win pretty respectably. And then this guy counterpicks me. I think he goes Falco game 2, which I thought at the time was my best matchup. And he gets me fucking sweating super hard. My heart is racing. I'm this is a round 1. And that guy is none other than Nova Scotia's GOAT, the greatest of all time, Hippo. So I play Hippo at one of his first tournaments, and he obviously, because no one knows who he is, he gets seeded against me. And it's probably of that. I feel like I did pretty well the rest of that tournament. I think that was the closest set I played all day. Was against a super young. It was when he brought the Hippo and he would put it on top of the CRT. So yeah, Rick was fucking good right away. He just pretty quickly. I know his results skyrocket pretty quickly. He just you knew he was going to be great. I'm not just saying this so I can sound like I have retrospective, I have hindsight, super foresight, or whatever you want to call it. I just knew this. Usually I can smoke people pretty quickly, even if they can end up being good. But he just had an understanding of how to play his characters and matchups that was tough to find at that time. So I play him early on, and it's super close, and then pretty quickly he establishes himself as a threat in the region. Another tournament, a bunch of people are getting upset by this Ice Climbers player, And all of a sudden, I'm in winners finals against this young buck who is just cooking people with ice climbers. And that person, again, this is 2014, who is now known as PC Geff. I think he just went by Jeff at the time. If even, he might have had a different tag. I'm not sure. Might have been spelled differently. But I play against PC Geff, and again, super fucking good. And this was like, when I played against Rick, it was more like, oh, I can like experience how good he is, even if he doesn't get the results. This guy, Jeff, was already smoking like a bunch of our like top 5 players at this tournament, all the way to winners finals. And then I think I beat him in winners finals, and then I think Parker, it was either Parker or Jet who ended up beating him in losers finals. But out of nowhere, it's actually Portchester Jeff. I don't know if you know. He's from New York. No. So at this point, like, the new gen is coming in. Like I mentioned, we have guys like Eyeball, we have Ignatius Rock. These are all guys who are pretty good. And then there's the guys that are going to lay the foundation for years to come, like the true goats of the scene in PC Geff and Rick and those guys. Unfortunately, I feel really sad because I moved to Toronto in September of 2014, and I miss Inky coming into the scene, which really sucks because I always wanted to play Inky, even early on, like seeing how good he got so quickly. And he's obviously super fucking goated. So I wish I gotten to play him when, you know, even if I was more experienced, I could have put up more of a fight. Because by the time I came back to Nova Scotia in 2019 and he was winning Kings of Halley and I was drowning in pools, I was like, no, this wouldn't be fun for anybody. So 2014, I go to as many weeklies as I can. I win any of the ones except for against Squidward that he shows up to. I remember one tournament I lost to Jet in winter semis, and then I get the run back, and then I double eliminate Parker. But then I know Parker gets third. He gets third at a tournament where I knocked Squidward into losers, and then Squidward beats him and then double eliminates me. But Parker starts to come back. So Parker started at the same time I did, and he got good really quickly, but he stopped. And then around the time Dolphin became a thing, so I think it's like is that like 2015? Like late 2014, 2015? People started doing net play and stuff like on Dolphin before it's like sophisticated, but like you just queue up with the code and shit. Once that starts being a thing, Parker comes back into the scene, and that's why he has a claim. That's why he dominated for years, and that's why he has a claim, if you want to put him or Rick as your all-time greatest. Little Mitts, if you end up watching this. He powered up. He had like a second wind when Dolphin became a thing. And so there's like, me beating him in 2014 is more him coming back after a long ass hiatus, like the summer of 2013. It's not really indicative of beating him in his prime, if you want to call it that. But regardless, he's attending some of the weeklies, which I think is really cool. I think he also started to see that Melee was starting to grow again, and he started to come back. And then pretty quickly, he takes it seriously, and then he becomes a beast again. So around May, I want to say it was May, I stopped attending the weeklies. I think it's around here that Jeff and Hippo and Rick and a lot of the new gen start to kind of solidify themselves. They start getting higher placings. I think they might even win a couple of the weeklies. They're attending stuff whenever they can, and so they're getting up there. The last event that we're going to look at for this stream is FGX 2014, which is a historic event for a ton of reasons. Let me see. I'm just going to open all this shit. So FGX is important. It's the tournament that Mewtwo King went to. It's the last event that I went to before I moved to Toronto and retired, more or less. Like, I basically quit after that. I don't think I played again till 2015 when I went to a bar tournament and played a very young King Quiggles, which is funny, and that VOD is online if you ever want a good laugh. Almost. I'm just getting all the pools for FGX Melee queued up. And yeah, it basically was like probably the first big event with the newly like formed NS Melee and NB Melee scenes. And so I like, you can consider this sort of a beginning of like the like modern-ish era. Like at this point, I think Frog joins the scene within the year. And a bunch of the guys that are now considered old heads are now join the scene around this time. So this is a big deal. There's a lot of talent, so we're just going to go through quickly and look at each of the pools for this, see if you recognize some names. This pool is fucked because we have Jerflip, TTC, and Dustin. 3 guys who are unbelievably good at this. Jerflip obviously is the top seed here. He's kind of established himself. TTC was already good. This event popped off, and then for the next while was an amazing Melee player in New Brunswick. Dustin's still around for sure. Yeah, it's sick to see. I saw Dustin's tag recently, and it warmed my heart. Rough draw, though. Dustin probably would have made bracket in any other pool, and unfortunately, he had to play against Jerflip and TTC. Gets double eliminated because we have that old format of how you get out of pools. So yeah, so Jerflip and TTC make it out. TTC on loser side, which is actually notable because it makes a hell of a losers run. Pool number 2, we got me. M-Toast is Clay from Newfoundland. I know that. I forget what Clay's tag is now. Used Falco at this time, but had a beast of a Falcon when I went to Storm the Rock. Unbelievable player, and also unbelievably good at Project M too. Clay Burton is, I think, the name. I don't know what Clay's tag is right now though, but super solid Smash player. Yeah, I have to play. Yeah, I have to go through. I don't know who AJGG is. We got Famous here, though. Oh, God, Famous. Going 0-2. Has to play Striker. Tale as old as time. We got M-Toast, Marlwolf. I had to play Clay to get out. And then I had the run against Marlwolf to get it out. I think this was winner's side of pools there. So, boom. That's rough. Pool number 3. We got Nick. See, this is a pool that I think if you put Dustin in, I think Dustin makes it out of this pool. Because Amplifier was good, a good Falcon. I think Dustin is better. And honestly, maybe could have upset Lamb. I remember Lamb was using a lot of Yoshi this tournament, which was funny. But this pool, a little more lackluster than the rest of them. That's definitely the truth. And unfortunately, I don't know any of these other names here. Pool number 4, we got a couple names here. Agwos, that's familiar. Squidward kind of just stomping way through. I don't think anybody would even take a game off Squidward here. We have Haxorus, though, also known as Snowman, the Alex Turner. I think Marwolf got canceled. Yeah, that did happen. I was trying to avoid saying the name, but it was kind of tough at this point in the bracket. Whatever. What's important is I won. Haxorus is Snowman, Alex Turner. I'm a little surprised he even got this win. I'm surprised. Yeah, how did he make it to the winners finals of the pool here? Is hilarious. But then seeding might have been a little bit whack. I feel like Nizark should have been up here. But Nizark gets the run back in losers to make it out of pools. So Squidward and Nizark make it out. No, we are not going to be covering your spin win. I am only covering the up till 2014 era. You'll have to contact more informed historians for this. TTC. Oh my gosh. I was just talking about how at FGX 2014 you popped off and then started your reign of being a super dope player. Like, you had already been good, but this tournament you definitely went on a run. It's good to see you though. I literally haven't talked to you or seen you in a decade. I miss you. I always had good times playing. Moving on to this pool, Adra. So I had mentioned this before. Adra started to pop off in Melee. The Sheik was really, really, really good. And as you can see here, was a first seed in the pool. Kind of just stomped through, beat G-Master, who was a really good PM player. Just went through, beat Ecto, the aforementioned Nizbul from Hella Smash 2007, and a well-known old head in the scene. And yeah, just beat him twice to get out of pools. Winner side. Unreal. Super good. Trying to see anybody else. I don't recognize any other names here. I know Gina Mudkips briefly. I think this is the first one I played and lost in pools. Second FGX was tough. I feel like the level up was real because this was right after the dock had dropped. So a lot of scenes were like wanting to play Melee, but the following year the level up was real. Gina was Quebec. Yeah. I wasn't sure if Gina played Melee. I thought Gina was a really good Brawl and Smash 4 player. I wasn't sure if they had played Melee a lot. Either way, Adria makes it out winner side clean on this pool. Moving on. Oh, we got Mewtwo King. This is fucked. So Mewtwo King has Fugu. Is that how you pronounce that tag? We got Eyeball in this pool as well. But Fugu, we don't cover 2015 because that's after my era. Fugu wins FGX 2015, if I remember correctly, beating Squidward in Grands, which is insane. It was quite the level up, and you can tell not seated in the best spot because goes on a run, beats Eyeball, and then beats Sanguine to get out of pools. I had to play Mewtwo King again, but I mean, we don't even have to look at that. Mewtwo King didn't drop a game this whole tournament, which is totally understandable. We go to pool 7 here. So we got JR coming in here. And we got the only name I really recognize is JP3. We all know JP3, a legend in the New Brunswick scene, Atlantic Canada scene, and also just an esports graphic design hero. If you don't follow them on Twitter, you absolutely should. Check out their shit. Unbelievably gifted and hardworking Smash player. JP3, I love you. Unfortunately, JP3 did not make it out of pools. Lost to Merca. JR just kind of solidly winning to get out of pools as the top seed, which is pretty crazy. So there we go. Those are pools all the way. We can just get rid of those. So yeah, you can already see some names. Like I said, we already saw TTC. TTC, your pool was crazy. You had Dustin and Jerflip in there, which is insane. But you can see there's like I mentioned, there's Eyeball, Nizark, JR. So there's like some Nova Scotia talent that's been pretty invested in the game, as well as the up and coming New Brunswick players. So then we go to the final bracket. So this is what we got here. The seeding was, so yeah, Mewtwo King's top seed, Squidward, they get the buys. How old am I? 31? 46, yeah, sure, shit, sorry. Thanks, son. You always keep me honest. So, looking here, let's look at these first rounds. Amplifier being Nizark isn't that crazy because I like Nizark could win. This is when he was using a lot of Marth. I feel like Amplifier though could just cook and win that matchup. So that doesn't surprise me. I'll make sure you're too old. You're not wrong. Lamb over Fugu. Not surprised. I feel like Fugu's level up is in the following, in the fall, like within the next year. He was probably still he was really good. I play him in losers, but he was not when I saw him play at FGX 2015 the following year, you could tell how much he had grown in that time span. So Lamb over Fugu. Then we have Jerflip over Ecto. That's a little New Brunswick classic all the way back in 2014. JR over TTC. TTC, this is a stain on your reputation. I'm going to DM you later. We're going to have a talk about this. I work in marketing. I work in branding. I will figure out a way to erase this from the record. I'm sorry that you lost this. I know you were new, but we will have to clean that up. I can't get you sponsored with an L like that. Me versus Beavums. I don't know who that is. And then Adra over Marwolf. We'll go down to losers first. So Fugu beats Ecto. Marwolf beats Beavums. I know, Marty. I was talking about Nizbel too. You're there. I see you. So they play each other. Fugu wins. Amplifier somehow didn't beat Mewtwo King. Color me shocked. We have Jerflip over Lamb. Totally doable. I would still, like, seeding wise, this is as close as it should be. Still an upset though. We take those. Squidward over JR was also unexpected. How is this happening? What a crazy bracket. This set is the most ridiculous set only for how it ended. So it's my Marth against Adra's Sheik. Game 3, we're on Dreamland. He's cooking the shit out of me. He gets me to last stock. I'm at like 90 or 100. He dodges something I'm doing, like I'm swinging. You know how I am. I'm just not a smash attack, but I'm just swinging aerials. I'm not spacing them. You know how it is. You've all seen me play today. I didn't play any differently then. But he baits it out. He hits me with a Sheik forward tilt, pops me up for a fair. This is close to ledge, so if he gets it, he's just going to win. He hits the forward tilt. I'm popped up perfectly. He fairs me. It's a phantom hit fair. So it, like, the spark comes, the percent goes. I don't go anywhere. So I get back on the stage. I take center stage. I start comboing him. I'm getting like some good punches. I'm running it back. I throw him off stage. I read his jump with a bear. And I go to input a double jump dare to spike him down. Miss the input. I just dare to the bottom of the stage. And I just SD and I lose. And immediately, like, as I miss the dare, I just go, nah! And I like stand up, fist bump him, unplug my controller, and I'm just like livid with myself for letting that happen. And then Adra's livid because he's like, why was that even so stressful? I fucking forward aired you and got a phantom hit. I already had won. You can't be salty. You lost twice, you fucking idiot. Anyhow, that's all to say that his Sheik was unbelievable, and he beats me 2-1, knocks me into losers. I mean, I probably would have lost immediately to Squidward after. I was just super disappointed with that. So going into losers, I play Nizark. We do Marth Dittos, and I win 2-0. Fugu beats JR. This is the start of that crazy TTC losers run, the breakout performance, as we call it. TTC beats Lamb. I remember you went Yoshi. I don't know why you did that. Marwolf beats Amplifier. I play Fugu. We have a lot of really close games. I win 2-0, but yeah, they could have gone either way. Last hit type things. TTC clutches it out in the first round of top 8. Going up here, Jerflip gets 2-0'd by Mewtwo King. Squidward beats Adra. We're going down here. I didn't realize I played Jerflip at this tournament, but I played Jerflip in losers quarters 2-0. TTC with a big win over Adra, which I will tell you, I almost did you remember when Zane beat Leffen at that major, and then Hungrybox ran on stage and hugged him because he was like, I didn't want to fucking play Leffen, and this was when Hungrybox would still smoke Zane. That's obviously not the case anymore, but it was like Zane's first big win. I wanted to do that with that because there was no fucking way I wanted to play Aja again. He always smoked me in Brawl, and he had finally figured out how to smoke me in Melee. I was like, can I have anything? Can I have any game? So when he beat Aja, I was like, it's a Falco. It's a really good Falco. This is misreported. This VOD is online. It is... it was 2-1 for me. TTC definitely smoked me on Pokemon Stadium. But it was, yeah, so it was a really close set. TTC gets 4th at this tournament, sets up for the last set of Melee I would play before I stopped, when I moved to Toronto and stopped playing, which we might... Do I have this somewhere? No. We could probably just look it up. Look at that. First of all, look at that thumbnail. That's the best thumbnail. Oh my goodness. Was I playing Peach? No, you were just Falco. You were just, you only went the bird. I don't think you had developed. Did you play Peach after? Like, you picked up Peach later, didn't you? Because if that's the case, then you hadn't developed them yet, or you just weren't using them. I do remember you smoked me in Smash 64, and it was the first time I saw someone use the Hori pad, and I was in love, and I ordered one when I got home, and I have one in storage right now. Yeah, so this is me against Evan. This was probably my favorite set of East Coast Melee for a long time. Now there's like dozens, if not hundreds, that are better. But this was such a sweaty one. We'll watch the last game. This is a certified scrap between two absolute shitters of Smash Nova Scotia. I'm back in Halifax. I moved back in 2022, and I live here now. And I'll be at like I go to like Kings of Hali and all that stuff. So if you are ever back on the East Coast, I will definitely make time to come and see you at an event. That would be super sick. We will watch the last game. He definitely beats me 3-1. But it's just worth watching. Also, in case you couldn't tell, let's go back for a second. In true Evan Dennis fashion, his tag is only the classiest, most sophisticated thing. Did he get rid of it? I thought he had the penis on it. Does he not have penis? Oh, right, because he was using Chic. He wouldn't keep the penis on there. Right. He's actually smart. But he had a dick for his tag. I know, look at that. Look at that. That is 100. Let me enlarge this for a second. Look at that. That is all fucking bone. Oh my gosh. Sun's out, milky white bones out, is I think the original saying. Yeah, good seeing you, TTC. We'll touch base soon, hopefully. All right, we'll watch. So he smokes me. I think I only take game one, and then he just wins 3 games in a row. Yeah, he's got the red hat. He always has the red hat. It is. It's not even like a Lego hat that clicks on and off. It's just on there. Why did I take him here? Look at this. I play the exact same. That's so sad. Little Mitts, you were right to not put me on a greatest of all time list. You're like... Looking at the VODs, you're like, how the fuck did he ever lose against some of these players? And then against modern players, it's like, why are you still playing? Hashtag Little Mitts was right. Oh, no. Oh, no. What am I doing? Oh. Ugh. Just gross.
Have the other games been fairly even, or?
Yeah, actually.
On top of the fact that this is my least favorite matchup, I was just never good at it.
Oh, very nice.
He loves Suicide. That's it.
Okay, pretty even right now. Anybody could take a lead here.
I'm telling you, it's the worst thing. Like, there's nothing endearing about the way that I play Smash. Like, it used to be endearing where it's like, oh my god, look at this. He still plays the same that he played all these years ago. Now it's like, it's so sad. Like, he's just so old, and he just doesn't get it. I had great fun. I did too. I love playing you. Every time we play, it's a game 3 banger.
Squidward gets a grab on the platforms. Could be big. You chase him onto the platform. A nice
Look at me. I don't do anything. I'm just taking these hits.
oh dear. Yeah, wait. Zao trying to read Squidward's get up, but he chose the safest option to roll away.
Ooh.
Like that forward smash.
I baited the forward smash.
Oh my goodness. Zao playing an intimidation game, just standing under that platform. Keeps him at bay with a well-timed needle. Grabs him after that jab. Zao taking his jump. Whoa.
This guy. Honestly, like, I feel so bad. Dusty definitely has to wake up in the middle of the night just shaking that he dropped a set to me once. Especially because we played friendlies last week and he smoked the shit out of me. And he was like, oh my god, why didn't I just do this? I'm so much better than this dork.
Alright. Spawning in guys. Still in the game, yeah. Oh, this could be bad for Zao, though. Yeah, this could be nasty.
Love you.
Okay, Zao gets a grab of his own, but Squidward. Smart decision. Yeah, text right away. Definitely the safest option there.
Ugh.
Oh, that get up attack, yeah. Oh, up air? Yeah. Wow, okay. Not enough, yeah.
What, Nick? What did you send me? Am I gonna open up a fucking Nazi post from you?
Has it grab, well, he gets the grab. And I think smells blood. Oh, that down tilt. Oh my gosh, his roll get up was
It's the final countdown. Whoop! What the hell's this? It says this content's not available.
up smash. Okay. Zao playing for his tournament life right now.
I do remember I get my F smash to up smash combo here. Oh, check this shit out. Check this out. Watch this. I go boom, and then boom.
Up smash combo! Oh my gosh, oh my.
And then I just lose. Watch this.
Zao, whatever ways.
Look at this shit. I just lose. I'm just so bad because he takes my jump and then kills me.
I don't know. Zao is potentially on tournament stock, but man, is he ever making it work for him?
Oh,
Oh, that's it. That's the end of
what was that up B? Oh my god. Oh my god. That was terrible. I'm shit. Look at that. Anyways, not to toot my own horn. This is my argument. This is my argument for GOAT status. Misses the first one, gets the second one. Just, fucking C-sticks flipping. Fucking C-sticks flipping everywhere. That's my, you can have your Rick, you can have your Inky, you can have your Parker, but we all know how many C-sticks had to die so I could win tournaments. If you don't have that dedication, you're not a Melee player. So yeah, he wins 3-1, and then he gets promptly 3-0'd by Mewtwo King, which is also a great set to watch. They turn on items and have a crazy time. I think it was like actually it was semi-popular even in the general Smash scene. So yeah. What the fuck is this? Okay, I'll pull this up, Nick. You're right. So this is not, so like I've been covering 2007 to 2014. We're pretty much wrapped up. But Nick at Storm the Rock, because after that everyone got good. I stayed shit. So Melee for like me, I think the first frag I went back, I got like 13th. I definitely got whooped by Yellow Bob and Squidward, and just 13th or 17th. I just wasn't good anymore. Randomly at Storm the Rock 2017, I got 5th and beat like some decent players. But I was definitely not as crisp, like my movement was off and shit. So I was swinging a lot more than usual. And the people in Twitch chat at Storm the Rock were not fans of how I played. So I remember watching the VOD and sending this to Nick, where it's G-Beast, who has played all the Smash games, is good at all the Smash games. From what I remember, a nice fella. Says, yeah, from what I've seen of James Smith, it really isn't that great at all. I'm pretty sure even I would beat him. Because I'm just out there, you know, missing L cancels, swinging forward smashes, maybe down tilting, recovering like shit, not doing good. And then, yeah, it's just how it is. Which is, to be fair, if you watch, even watching me against Evan there, you see the only combos I go for are C-stick combos. Just not good. Yeah, you guys gotta start saying that to me. You gotta give me the side eye. Yeah, from what I've seen, his Pikachu's not that great. I'm pretty sure even I would beat him. Fuck you. Nah, I'm sure you're a good person. Cool. So that was FGX 2014. My last tournament for in Nova Scotia, in Atlantic, Canada for a few years. I moved to Toronto in September 2014, and then I basically retired from Melee, and at no point am I ever good again. So, because it's close to the end of the year there, what is the last PR, the 2014 PR? Well, it turns out our good friend Mitch from Fuel Streaming actually had compiled data and done a ranking in a spreadsheet that I found. So the best player, and this includes all of Atlantic Canada. So for 2014, the best player in Atlantic Canada, the official rankings that we're gonna go with are, we got Jerflip at number 1, baby. I've been saying for years, Jerflip is the GOAT. Give it up for Jerflip. Better than Mewtwo King. Went up 3 spots despite losing. Mewtwo King, undefeated record, doesn't matter. Squidward at number 3rd, Super Boom fan. JR is above me, so I quit. It's over. Take me off your Little Mitts. You were right. Take me off your GOAT list. I was below JR. Based Hippo all the way here, which is pretty sick. So Hippo was already... I know that this is not super accurate. How was JR above you ever? I think it's just a... It has to just be games played, right? I don't know. Why is Jerflip... Oh yeah, he was based Hippo. It was amazing. That was his handle on Anthers when we would play Dolphin together. It was really fun. Adra at 9 or at 8th, and then we had TTC, Ecto, Amplifier, Lamb all the way down to 13. Shouldn't have gone fucking Yoshi, dude. Dustin there. Again, Dustin got pool fucked like you wouldn't believe. Up 13, though. That's really impressive. Fugu, yeah, from Quebec, like I said, wins FGX 2015. Nizark goes there, and then just a bunch of NB fellas that I actually don't remember who they are. But yeah, I don't know how he was above me. I do know why these guys are high up. They probably should be higher. But this is a joke one. Or not a joke one, but I just thought it was really funny that Jerflip was first above Mewtwo King. It doesn't matter, Mewtwo King. You can win all the sets you want. You can go undefeated at a big tournament. Jerflip, 78 games played, sheer tyranny of will, is better than Mewtwo King. You saw it here first. Thank you, Colin. You are the best. I am petitioning for Jerflip the GOAT. No. So the actual final PR that I gave... based on Parker, because again, we have to take away a lot of the like New Brunswick stuff. Like we have to try and narrow it down. Like performing well against New Brunswick is good, but like we have to, when we're doing Nova Scotia rankings, it could only be Nova Scotia players. So because Billy Be Good had so many strong performances throughout the year at the GPP weeklies, he basically only didn't go to FGX. I have him at 2nd. I had me at 1st because I was the highest ranking person at FGX. Anytime we went to Moncton, I'd be the highest ranking person there. And then I won all the GPP weeklies aside from Squidward. I put Hippo at 3rd because from what I remember, Hippo was popping off when I wasn't there for a lot of those weeklies. And then after I moved, I think he kind of solidified himself. I can fully admit I'm wrong here. I actually I think I would put PC Geff higher, or I would keep him there and I would slap Adra here, or I would have PC Geff at 4th. Jet would probably go off and then Adra would go up. I put Jet up here because he had some strong showings. I remember he took a set off me and I think he got like 2nd or 3rd a few times, but Adra beating me at FGX was really good. He got top 5 at that event. And I remember he just did really well at the weeklies in between. So I think that Adria should actually be top 5 for 2014, either 4th or 5th. I just forget how PC Geff did for the rest of the year. And again, for a lot, these guys, I think it's Hippo, Adria, PC Geff in some order. Just depends how they did at the weeklies when I wasn't there. And unfortunately, we don't have data for that. So yeah, I'm just going to look, but I think that that's about it. So kind of to sum up, this covered from 2017 to 2014. 2007 to 2014, and then a little bit of 2017 to show that Newfoundland was talking shit about me. It's totally fine. I forgive you. Everyone, they've done it to me before. They'll continue to do it forever. So kind of just noting, like, 2007 when Melee was still the main game, there wasn't many tournaments, but they were pretty healthy sizes. People were committed. In 2008, after that one that the Knicks won, Melee just died. Brawl came out for a year and a half. There was no Melee events. In terms of, like, especially, I always think back to that Lil Myths tweet about greatest of all times. I mean, I think Parker is pretty handily up there. Nick has been around for a long ass time as well. The main thing that I think is important about, like, the thing I'm most proud of what I did for the scene, if you want to call it my contribution, was that when Melee was dead, I fought very hard for it to be featured again, and then also always tried to make sure that I was present at the tournaments, that I put in the work so that I could be pretty good and give people, like, a reason to compete in Melee, to, like, just have some sort of force, because I just always wanted it to be there. I wanted to keep playing it. I always loved the game. I was never very good at it, but I fought extremely hard, mainly because with any game, like, a better example of what I did is what Legs and Petra and company have done with the Sailor Moon scene, where it's something that you love, and you just want to get people into it, and you just want to, like, lay a foundation, and, like, through just, like, the passion of a few people, you can grow it into something. And did that for, like I said, from 2009, and yeah, I think Parker was a huge reason. Like, he was as passionate as I was, and then we pushed each other a lot because he wanted to get good and I wanted to be good as well. And so every tournament was just us trying to, like, one up each other. So it was really competitive and really good. And so from 2009 to, like, mid 2013, we just, like, kept, every year we would try to, like, push each other and try to, like, give people a reason to think, hey, Melee's cool. It's a different kind of game. There's a lot here. And then, thank God, the documentary and Evo happened, because then a ton of interest started to stir up. And then, luckily, we had, like, a foundation. We had, like, myself. We had Parker. We obviously had Lamb. And then there was the players like JR with the GPP stuff, and Nizark, who showed interest. So we had, like, a little bedrock. And then, I mean, I mentioned the names before, like Ignatius Rock. Eyeball was huge. I'm thinking, like, Dank Lord, Yo Mom. Is it Snice? I remember Snice was awesome. I'm thinking Weem, and then Hippo, Geff, all those guys. Because the biggest thing that I also wanted, that I knew I could never give, was to develop a Melee scene that could develop players who could go to big tournaments and do crazy shit. And now we're starting to see, like, I remember when Parker went to Gommel 2019, and he played Plup in pools. And after the fact, he said Plup, like, came up to him and they were just chatting, and he was like, "Yo, your movement is, like, really fucking good." And, like, hearing that from Plup, who I think has probably aside from PPMD, has my favorite movement of a Melee player ever, I was like, that's so fucking sick. Like, I've always wanted to have a scene that we created players that could go and, like, do shit that, you know, even makes top players stand out. And then now seeing, like, I think Inky is amazing. I really want to hang out and play him. Plup said that to Hippo, sorry. Because Rick and Plup had played in bracket, and it was like, I think it was, like, respectable. It was like a double 2-stock or something, but, like, pretty competitive. And then Plup said that to Rick after the set. He was like, "Man, your movement's, like, really fucking, like, you're really fast and really good." But yeah, so like, and I think what Inky has done when he's gotten some sick wins at tournaments, I think what Mar is doing, I know he's a Toronto man's now, but as someone who went from the East to Toronto, I respect, he's putting in more work than I ever did. So I respect what he's doing. I want to get Frog to Gommel because I want to see him put in work. And then all the usuals, like the new guys, like Little Mitts, Kashoto, Riley. I love Riley. He's fucking awesome. It's just dope to see how many amazing, like the fact that when I go to a tournament, it's like, yeah, like I could just get 17th now, just get fucking tossed. It's so cool to see where the scene has gone from where it was, like I said, when we had 10-person events once a year, where it was me and Parker trying to sweat it out with each other. So like, in terms of if you're ever going to do GOAT listings, especially based on skill, I mean, give Little Mitts and some other players another year. I think I'm falling off that shit. But the biggest thing is with me and Parker and Nick is that we kept the lights on, and now we have, thanks to the hard work from all of you guys now, we have a crazy scene. Like seeing Spin to Win get 40, 50 people, seeing homies like Frog and Petra and all those, and Jorg and everybody, and seeing people go week in and week out. I just fucking love you guys. You guys are amazing. And I'm going to continue to go to the weeklies and F smash the fuck out of people. Yeah, no, for sure, Kodra. I love doing it. Like I said, I personally, like, because I quit drinking a few years ago, but when I go to a bar, I love to hook up homies with drinks. And, anytime that I can get people, if people need a hand, whether it's like a pop bonus, getting people out to try to get people to reach events or encourage people. Like if Inky ever needed help getting somewhere, Frog, I'll try to help you out where I can to get to like Gommels or other majors. Like I just want to see our top guys compete. And but most important, because I for all games, no bongos, you don't have a fucking chance, especially if they're a Falco player. I could start drinking again and get blackout drunk. My Falco's still gonna toss you, bud. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. But we can play alt or whatever. I'll play Sailor Moon with you if that make you feel better. So, so for all the scenes, for like alt, for Smash 4, having local talent perform at a national level has always been a big goal. But never, and I say this as somebody who went over all those stage lists and everything, never have I wanted our talent or anything to come at the cost of a healthy local scene. Like I think having an environment that brings a lot of people together, where everyone's really friendly and welcoming, and where the newcomer is as important as the top player, I think that's always going to be that's crucial. It's foundational. It's the thing I've cared about the most. Aaron Alexander or Gronk from the alt scene that's also his top value. I think he would co-sign with that. And I think we both recognize that you gotta have, first and foremost, it has to be fun week in and week out. And as long as you do that, people are competitive. They'll foster that environment. They'll push themselves. But if you're competitive, if you let the competitive people or the competitive nature override the community aspect, it's just not going to work. And so that's the most important thing. And I think the alt scenes and the melee scenes crush it in that regard. And the FGC scene too. Like I don't get to go to many of their events, but all I'm going to say, this is a long-winded rant about saying that Kings of Halley 7 is going to be a great event because of what Atlantic Canada and Nova Scotia in particular brings to it from a community perspective and from a talent perspective. So make sure you get those motherfuckers to sign up. Reg for KOH. I'm trying to think. I guess I could honestly, for the people that are still watching this shit, does anybody have any questions about anything that they just saw? Oh, also, Frog, you screenshotted this PR. This one here from March 2010, Lamb Space Billy Be Good? Which is all well and good, but they should have named your tag Snake, because what you cropped out of it is that I said joke PR list, Melee is dead, and I had just beaten Nick, so no fucking way would I put myself below Nick on a PR. This is me being fake humble, and you screenshotted it out of context so that you could promote the pro-lamb propaganda. Unbelievable. I can't believe it. So that's why this whole stream is really to set the record straight. Little Mitz was wrong, Frog was wrong, Zhao was right. That's really all there is to it. Can you show I doubt they have any notable players image? Oh, the one from, do I have that? How would I find that? I'm not on Twitter on this, one sec. I'm not on Twitter on this thing, so I don't know. I'll see if I can find it. One sec. I sent it to you. Oh, did I send it on Discord? Okay, cool. One sec. That's a good one. I was talking mad shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I make humble PRs, you can almost guarantee that it was me trying to be a not cocky 16-year-old. No way I thought I was that. Unfortunately, Bongos, I send you like a million things. So I sent Razic screenshots. I sent Jordan Peterson screen. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna get canceled. I don't think I sent it to you. I'm going back to April 3rd, baby. I do have this picture though. Sexy boy. Let me see. I have it on Twitter somewhere, but I'll just see if I can look at it, because Lord knows Elon Musk's X is not great. Man, it's so stupid that you can't look at profiles without logging in. What a shit website. Is that why you went? Yeah. I'm gonna go Pika. And I'm going Steve this weekend, having never played Minecraft, the character before, so I don't even know how to mine or shit. So it'll be extra funny. Anyways, the long and short of it is that I shit talked NB players. Cool. Does anyone have any questions or any thoughts or anything they want me to talk about? Again, huge shout outs to Parker for being an unbelievable player and for fighting alongside me in the early days of Melee. That guy's a goat. It's funny saying this. Sat my eyes. Yeah, he's in BC now, isn't he? I don't think he competes though. I saw him play. I told Frog this on Tuesday. Parker was streaming Valorant like really late at night, and I went on, and there was like 2 people watching the stream. Nobody was talking, and I was just like, "Oh, this isn't Melee. Come on, man!" And he didn't reply to me, and he just looks like he was having the most depressing time of all time playing Valorant, which makes sense. Yeah, it's Valorant. Why would you do that to yourself? I need him to go try hard in Melee again, buddy. Those are the golden age. If the 10-person Hella Smash bracket, Parker would win. He would actually beat Super Boom Fan at this point. Parker is unbelievable. I think I still get 3rd though. I get top 3. I don't think I beat Boom, but I definitely get 3rd. But if I play Parker, it's not game 5. It's not the sweaty one that you saw. The 10% Smash. It was so sad because I remember that bracket being hype, and if you watch the sets, they were all really good. Like me versus Nick is really good. Obviously, we saw the end of me and Parker. That was awesome. Me versus Super Boom is the game 1 is pretty good. I almost take game 1, and then I kind of get smoked. All the sets were really good, and in my memory, I was like, oh, that event must have been like a solid like 20-person entrance, especially with a pot bonus. And it was actually our lowest turnout. Except for, I think, Snowbot. Played Parker. Yeah, I mentioned that you ran into him. I didn't know you guys played Melee, though. But Frog told me that Rick said that he played Parker at the previous Kings of Halley, not the one that just passed, but the one before that. And he said he fucking cooked. So Parker would, if we replay all the brackets, but with our current selves, Parker just sweeps it all. But can we not do that? I don't know if you guys were looking at the PRs I made, but if you notice, there's like a whole bunch where I'm at the first. See, there's like 1, 2. We could ignore that one. 3, 4. I had 4 self-made PRs where I'm at the top. Can we just stick with that? Can we not think about how good Parker would have been? How good he was? He already was the best for a couple of years after. But someone else can do that fucking stream. ASMR. Do you guys want to listen to me gulp? Do you guys want to see my huge Adam's apple? You over Hippo was crazy. In 2014, there's a case. He actually by the end of it was probably better than me in 2014. Was the best one. Do we have to put in the asterisks in that melee player, in the melee player one? You know what we can do? We can say we averaged out the results over that time span, and we had to pick the lowest, the tournament with the lowest entrance and the tournament with the highest entrance. So we had to eliminate those. So then Parker didn't win. This bracket means nothing, and I'm still first. Suck it, Parker / Billy Be Good / Macnay / what was the other ones? Frog told me. Is it your mom? No, yo mom was an actual person. Can you give us a straight readout? How do you want me to read? Do you want me to read it serious? As if I'm like trying to make a case? Actually, you know what? Yeah, one sec. I'm gonna hate read the message that made me type that in the first place. Get me into character. Colin. Sultry? I'll do that later. Yeah, you did subscribe, so I'll do that. Where the fuck was this? Pop-Tart. That was it. Pop-Tart. I was trying to remember Pop-Tart. It was fucking cold that triggered me initially. Because they did one, and he was like, it's Matt, Jordan, Brian, Colin, Bailey. Honestly, you could swap Colin with Aaron. And I was like, I had a visceral reaction to that. Visceral. I was like, I'm sorry? Aaron? Who is amazing, and he's a GOAT, and he's crushing it in Ultimate. He's a GOAT. Is he top 5, though? Oh my god, I was so pissed. Especially because Jordan didn't even come. He like kind of came to my rescue. Where the fuck was I? I came in hot too. The conversation had ended, and then I was like, no. Okay? Dominated early Brawl, was still winning Brawl tournaments when I came back in 2013, 2014. I was the best melee player in Nova Scotia from 2010 to 2014, and I also got a bunch of dope wins throughout Smash 4. The first and only official PR got first. Yeah, Parker, yeah. Because at that point, like, yeah, he was solid. I know Hippo was, like, scratching at his heels and whatnot, but Parker was still solid. The issue, though, is, again, going back to, like, when the scene split up. Because a lot of my, like, most of my time, and if you want to call it influence on Nova Scotia Smash, was, like, Brawl and then Melee. But when they split off, and now it's like Brawl and then Smash 4 and then Ultimate, like I kind of had less and less of an impact. So then all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, I guess Colin's just, he's just old. He's just not doing much of anything. All right, this one's for Bongos. Dominated early Brawl. was still winning Brawl tournaments when I came back in 2013, 2014. Was the best Melee player in Nova Scotia from 2010 to 2014. And also got a bunch of dope wins throughout Smash 4. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Parker, unfortunately, I think the thing that used to annoy the fuck out of me, but I really shouldn't feel bad for. I shouldn't have given Parker such a hard time on this. I don't actually think I gave him a hard time. I think it was more just my thoughts on it. But Parker used to just like sandbag a fuck ton when I think he could have just flat out dominated. I'm sure it happened in Melee. It was a big thing in Brawl. I feel like he gave up a lot of firsts just fucking around and not necessarily always going his hardest. And I always thought it sucked because I started out quicker than Parker did, but Parker, when he dedicated himself to anything, was always much better than I. And honestly, I think that in Brawl, I think Parker was... in Brawl, I think the highest level of play we ever got was when Parker was trying, was well practiced and trying at his best. When he did that, I feel like when he won his best wins, it was never really in doubt. He just looked so much better than everybody. So, and then it might have been the same in Melee too. I feel like Melee, he was able to play and express himself in a certain way while still not still being able to use good characters. But like Frog told me, he could also go Bowser and then just lose. So it just is what it is. Yeah, but that's the thing is because for me, because I was never good enough to be able to compete at the level that I always thought he could compete at, and I think he reached it. Like, he was ranked in BC for a bit, and he obviously dominated a fuck ton here. And I feel like whenever he would play top players, he would do well. So I think I wanted more for him just because I always thought he could do better, but I also don't really know who I am to speak because I fucking went Pikachu in the alt weekly, and when I don't go to tournaments, and when I do, I place like shit or play like shit or both. Oh, we're back to the good old. I feel like Eastside Rally is gonna be my peak. I feel like everyone's gonna be nice and toasted and unfrozen stadium. I think Gommel is my tournament. It's gonna be my tournament. It's gonna be it's gonna be Anki, Frog, Lil Mitz, and then right behind them. I'm sorry, is that Colin North? Is that the Colin North forward smashing his way? In my chat? My goodness. Boom. Yeah, I think we covered everything. So, crazy I got above Mets. You're all, buddy, the only reason we're having this stream is because of your reaction to his tweet. Otherwise, I wouldn't have seen his tweet. It's the only reason. Yo, thank you, Moo. I want to say, yeah, because I feel like I didn't want to stop and talk about the Twitch Primes and everything. Everyone who subscribed with Prime or gifted subs or anything, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Like I didn't really mention, but all proceeds I'm just gonna send to Frog's way. If you can't get to Gommel, whatever, you can just have some extra cash. This is the Frog Fund. Frog is also my GOAT. Great player, great TO. And he remembered me and Parker, which is the biggest thing. No, but again, I don't blame... How long has Little Mitz been privy? Again, this stuff was not common knowledge. It's like asking people to know where to locate dinosaur fossils. How is he gonna know I existed? We did play a set once, but he was probably confused. He was like, who's this old man who's talking about fecundity? Oh, shit. Oh, okay, there's no mistakes then. Little Mitz, do your fucking homework. Here you go. A 3-hour lecture. Everything, this will all be on the test, so make sure you study. I'm gonna do my own Jeopardy, but it's only gonna be Smash Nova Scotia early melee. So keep your respect going. But I will say Parker's a more egregious person. Parker is a more egregious person to forget than I am. Because again, like I quit and moved out of Nova Scotia in 2014. Parker's a fucking legend, and I feel like you gotta know about that. So look at this, boom dong. No, I wanted to see if you would wait the whole stream to do it, to drop that word. I'm just looking through. The only other thing is, I guess, would people want me to upload the old VODs? Because there was a bunch that we didn't watch, and obviously we only skimmed through them. Is that something that we think is good to just have? Because I could just compile them all into like a long form video, and then you could just watch them, and then just timestamp what the sets are or whatever. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 melee VODs here. Holy shit. Which I thought I'd lost because I used to have them, and I thought I had deleted them in a purge on this desktop, and then literally last night I found them. Cool. Maybe I'll compile that whole thing, toss it in a drive, and then ask Petra if we just want to toss those up. Because like I said, if I timestamp them, and then people can go. Because then Nick has the ones, like some of the ones were on channels already. So like Malcolm Bailey's channel had a couple of them, and then Nick's channel had the Doctor Strange Falcon VODs. And then everything else is still uploaded. I'll probably have to go through, and I feel like it's always a good idea to save as many VODs as you can. You never know when shit's gonna get deleted. The Animus guy on this picture had like dozens of early Melee VODs for Halifax, from like Smash Fests, Hella Smash 2007, the January 2008 tournament, and then he just deleted his channel. So they're all gone now. So sad. So I'll figure it out. I'll check it. Cool. Is there any other questions, or do you guys all want to go sleep? Did I put you all to sleep with this one? I'll take last call for questions. I appreciate you chatters hanging around for as long as you did. That's really good. I hope this was worth it. NS Frog, you're the GOAT. I love you. You're great. Kermit's back there. Did you see him? He's got a GameCube controller and everything. Let's smash. Hop on Slippy. Yeah. It's good. Because at some point, shit might get deleted. Yeah, the volume might have been a bit too low, but when I played the Evan VOD, you could hear it. Which is pretty funny. I didn't realize that it played during the last game of our set, but it is really funny. Yeah, get on Slippy. I want to play the frog. In his frog. Hope next time you beat Little Mitts. Or else he's gonna give you the hands. Can you tell how tired I am? Part of me is just really itching to see if I can make it to 3 hours. But yeah, I think this is a good stream because it covers a lot of the basic stuff. It was cool to see some old heads hop in and talk. Like I said here, Nizbal is Ecto, so pay respect. Ecto is, alongside Nick, one of the oldest still standing Smash heads. And yeah, this is just a great way. I hope at some point someone does a like 2014, 2015 to like the modern era, like to post-COVID and all that sort of stuff. someone will definitely. There's gonna be more to say. I'd love for Riley to shoot the shit on a stream for like 2 hours just talking about his time in Smash. That guy is fucking hilarious. I love Riley. At least Kevin, one of the VODs that I'll see if Petra, like I'll cut it all together into one big VOD, but there's a section where you played Lamb at a small event, and I recorded it with a hand camera, and you went game 3 against him in Falco Dittos, as well as placing pretty well at some of the post Brawl release tournaments. So you got some fight for sure. I used to have the VOD on my YouTube, and then I took it down when I started doing long form interviews. But I have the VODs, and so I'll get them uploaded, and then I'll timestamp your set, because it was a really good Falco Ditto. I remember at the time thinking that'd be a huge upset, and you definitely two stocked him that first game. So you put up that fight. The 17th here is not indicative. Especially because there's some names up here I don't even remember. Like, I don't know who Joe is, but Joe got 3rd. We can just say it's Joe from New Brunswick, the really good Wii Fit player. Yeah, I'll cut that together. I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna make it one long VOD, because it's all just a bunch of little. It's back in the day when you used to cut the when we used to do individual matches, so it'd be like Zao versus Lamb 1, Zao versus Lamb 2, different videos. Fucking, what a terrible user experience. But now, you can upload a 3-hour VOD talking about 1 to 2 Melee tournaments a year, where it was just me, Parker, and Nick playing. But hopefully there was some value in it. Yeah. I think that's going to be it, isn't it? I think we covered it. This was a lot of fun. I want to do more stuff like this. If I can find more if I could do more storytelling or something like that, things for the Smash history experience. If I can think of more ideas for streams, I will do that. But honestly, I covered like the early Maritime Smash video with JP3, that 5-hour stream. I did that, and now I've done this. I feel like I've told everything. I think it's gonna be on the new fellas to do this going forward. So, boom. But anyways, to all you guys who tuned in, chatted, or even if you were just lurking in the background, I really do appreciate. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Hope you enjoyed the old storytelling. There's a lot of roots, a lot of history in this scene, and so we've told our part, and so let's told our history. Now let's go keep writing some new stuff, eh? Kings of Halley 7. Sign up for it. All right. Good night. I'm done.